Peace to the champions. Bronze, we're here with another Brownstone Powwow. You know the deal. Saturday night. Uh, I've been coming across this conversation for a while, so I know you're peeking at me. What defines blackness? I don't really celebrate Black History Month. There's a lot of components that if you've been watching my channel, I kind of described it, but I didn't describe it. But I really wanted to give the chance, and I'm not making this a long conversation. So whoever wants to jump on and give their thoughts, whether it be for a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, 30 minutes, I don't give a shit. I'm going to get into that briefly, but I did say no. I was cooking up the idea that I wanted to explore the origins of soul food, because I believe a lot of people have this idea that all soul food comes from slavery, which is not necessarily the case. My whole entire thing is, yes, it was a mixture of European foods, but a lot of people don't know that it also was mixed in with the Aboriginal foods that was already here. For example, cornbread is an example of that. We can get into the conversation about mac and cheese and fried chicken. A lot of people believe like fried chicken was probably from scraps. So I probably won't do that tonight because I was going to research it for tonight's installment of the Brownstone Powwow, but I'm just not. I'm going to do that on another panel. I'll probably do that next week or the week afterwards. I'm not really sure. I'm not doing this to celebrate Black History Month, but I have no problem having a conversation with people, about so-called blackness. You know what I mean? And a lot of people may ask you, they're like, Bronze, how come you say so-called white, so-called black, and da-da-da? Color is a social construct when it comes to race. Race is not. They've made it that point as well, right? So especially when it comes to black people, you can't have black without the white. You know what I mean? It's stuff like that that I started to pick upon, and so it's like, especially in this society, so many people will side eye you when you say so-called black, or you don't identify yourself as an African American or all this other stuff. Yeah, to certain degrees, when it comes to certain aspects about race, it is a social construct. You understand? Where your skin is not literally black, so how can you call yourself a black person? See, I always make that distinction. My skin is brown, and if anybody ever actually saw me, I'm a brown-skinned man. You understand? So the reason I wanted to get into this conversation is, so far, shout outs to everybody that's in the chat. I've been seeing a lot of this ADOS / non-ADOS argument, and who should be invited to the cookout, who shouldn't be invited to the cookout. I've seen a lot of contradictions with a lot of dudes that talk about the community, and then when they talk about the community, they talk about the community on Caribbean or so-called African panels. I sit here stuck like, wait a minute. One minute you say ADOS, non-ADOS is not available for the conversation. They can't be involved in a conversation. But at the same time, you have conversations about the so-called Black community on an African person's panel. So then it's all this vitriol and sitting up there saying, oh, you're not an African. You're this, we're not African. You're not our people, and blah, 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 and this, that, and third. Now, a lot of this can go to what we've experienced in school, the workplace, whatever have you. Yes, there's no way you can't argue this with me. Now, I don't know what it's like in the UK, but then a lot of people get all frazzled when there's someone from the UK who participates in so-called Black discussions. You understand? So I usually see that, and I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's do this tonight. And I'm hoping that I get a good majority of people who's going to come up on this panel, even if it's the same people who stay face, right? Who want to have a discussion about what defines blackness. What defines blackness? Because they be like, oh, well, they're non-ADOS. They're Caribbeans and it shouldn't have the conversations. Western Africans shouldn't have the conversation, right? And I mean, even if you think about it with Canadians, right? Canadians is usually like Jamaicans and then a couple of other people probably from the islands, and then Africans, right? So Canadians is not a fair trial, but in America you have the dead ass so-called African Americans. And I think I get a little frazzled as well because, I mean, if you do the history, there was still a mixture of people within I don't want to say the Civil War, but like settlements in the 1800s and then other places like other events like World War I and all these different things. So I think it's like a little bit ridiculous when I hear people speak out their jibs and they say all these different things like they're not able to speak on us. You don't know our culture. You know what I mean? So I that's my odds on it. I have like the slightest time to really speak about stuff. I'm just not really interested in speaking on a lot. So I'm gonna open up the panel and whoever wants to come on. I'll still speak as this goes on, but I just want to talk about the experiences real quick, whether you're talking virtual or um, you're talking about in real life. You know what I mean? Because it's like the thing about America is America has opened up the floodgate for the cultural diffusion. So of course, there's going to be people of different nationalities who may be brown skin, who may be light skin, who may be so-called white skin, pale skin, whatever have you. And the thing about it is that there's still a difference between cultures, but there's still an understanding. Now, when we define race, what are we defining race as? A group of people who's competing for the capitalist society of America? Like, what is it that streams your mind? You understand? I'm curious. Peace is.
Woo! I couldn't wait for a topic like this. I was like, I'm on it.
Let's go. I want to know. I'm curious.
Well, as a fellow black man, I can tell you, I had this problem growing up where I had to be labeled and judged for just sounding the way I do. So people have a perception of what they see as a black person is. And so black people have many different ways of communicating, of vocalizing, of even just chatting. You know, it's never a stereotype. So I figure since society perpetuates that, if they cling on to stereotypes, more than likely they're going to judge you based accordingly. Yes. So for me, when I was getting into the work field when I was 18 years old, about a decade and 2 years ago, there was this white lady. She was right next to me, and I was talking with a friend of mine. She overheard me speaking, and she was like, "Oh, you sound so proper. Oh my God. I did not expect you to sound like that." Mm-hmm. Because I was young, I wasn't like woke as I am now. I didn't take it as her being offensive. I just thought she was being like affectionate or, kind. But as I gotten older, I read between the lines and I saw that no, she was saying that because she automatically assumed that I must either use Ebonics or I guess a black scent, accompanied by low vocabulary and just, being that kind of Negro that she expects. So it really boggles down to perception of how not only society sees black people, but also how the media portrays black people. Because I find that if stereotypes is gearing towards public media and how the media, advertises that, then society will believe that, and even our own race or our own ethnicity, would, follow suit to that. And it's unfortunate, but
So especially with the white lady, it was kind of seen like after you started to notice, piece of Christy. So you started to notice that type of instance, it was kind of like a backhanded compliment. Right?
Exactly, it was a backhanded compliment.
Because I can agree with you there, right? Because I know I've gotten that plenty of times, right? And then it's like they say it's always the same fucking word, articulate.
I hate
and it's like that, and you laughing because that's the word they use. Like, oh, he's so articulate.
You're so proper. You're so articulate. You have such a big vocabulary.
Like, dude, like I speak the way I do because that's just how I am. Like,
you're probably close to a real white man now, the way how you're talking.
Right. And so
I'm laughing because it's like legitimately like people think that, and it's horrible because it dehumanizes who we are as a person, because we're not a separate race. We're all the same race, human. But due to perpetuations in society and how they see other forms of ethnicities, they judge accordingly, and they already have a preconceived perception of you. And it's unfortunate, but
Well,
That's why I
let
get
me.
followed around the store and CVS because
Oh
of that
yeah.
reason.
I was even surprised I got followed by a fellow so-called black man when I went to CVS. Like it was weird. And I was just like, why is this brother following me? I have no nature to want to steal from nobody. Like what
Yep.
like and it's like weird because I'm like, why would this brother want to follow me around? Like I don't look like a threat. Probably put myself out there, but I'm like, I don't look like a threat. You know what I mean? Like I have
Hmm.
a beard at most, but I don't look like a threat. So it's really weird that it was a brother that wanted to follow me around the store. I was like, okay,
Yep.
that's a little bit weird, but okay. I want to explore something, I guess, because you would be considered an African American, correct?
Oh yeah. Hmm.
Okay. So, what is your take on conversations about blackness from so-called black immigrants? That would include Africans, Caribbeans, or whatever have you. Do you feel like they should be able to have a conversation about the so-called black culture or whatever?
Absolutely, because
Right.
they're part of the diaspora. You know, as long as you're communicating with anyone who is of African descent or black descent, it doesn't matter. Because I know is this new thing with like ADOS, how
Yes.
people are separating African American from African,
Mhm.
but I think we as black people as a collective need to discuss about our differences and the similarities, and also get into the microaggressions that's within the community itself, so that way we can all take part in bettering as a unity. I think that would be the ideal sort of thing we should all do together. I do agree with that.
Because I'll trample over, and I'm not gonna lie, like there'd be certain like jabs thrown at me as like a so-called African American. I'm like, oh yeah, you don't do nothing, you lazy. But I figure it's you know what it is? It's like the hurt people aesthetic.
Yeah,
Because
it's
it's
a
like,
dog eat dog mentality.
yeah, you know what I mean? Because it'll be Africans that be like, well, we work harder than you. We don't do no excuses. And then it's like the Caribbeans. It's like I've had friends that was just like, oh, I have a familiarity with Black Americans, and it's like, wait a minute, like I'm cool with you. Like I don't even know what the fucking beef is about. So I piggyback on that because yes, what brought this to my attention was about the ADOS and FBA and this, that, and the third. Like at first it's the stample and the trample ground of saying, oh, well, I was in this country, I built this country, and you you guys weren't there. And then it's like what else do they say? They say some, I mean, of course they go over reparations. That's without saying. But it's like my complications is I have no desire to want to just like understand my experience, quote unquote, would be unique. But at the same time, it's like if you're closed off to one particular part of the world, you don't know other parts of the world, right?
Right. And
And
you
the thing about it
become
is,
closed minded with that too, as well.
right, and it's like a struggle when you hear the rhetoric of some ADOS and FBA. It's always a struggle story. I don't want to hear that shit because I'm not waking up every day and talking about, oh, I'm a goddamn victim and this, that, and third. I'm like, have you done the fucking history, bro? Like, do you know how phenomenal? Do you know how phenomenal it is? Especially because I'll do a stream on it probably like later this month or next week. I'm not sure when I'm going to be going over the origins of soul food. A lot of people
Mm.
didn't even think. A lot of people, where do you? So, for example, where do you think fried chicken comes from?
I really don't, and I'm gonna be dead ass with you. I don't know where it comes from. I know it's been out for like hundreds of years. So the idea of fried chicken, I know we are taught that it comes from the South in America, like
Okay.
but I'm not sure exactly when it originated.
I believe it's one of the countries with an S in Europe. Um, was it Switzerland or was it fucking Sweden? I forgot which one. No, fried chicken does not come. Is the origin is not from the South. It comes from Europe. And the thing about it
Oh, see,
is
I didn't
that
know that.
yeah. That's why I'm happy because I'm like I want my page to give knowledge as well. But what I'm saying is fried chicken. They used to put fried chicken. They used to. I don't want to say boil it, but they used to put it in some type of oil and stuff like that, and like basically put the chicken in there to kind of like roast in that oil or water. And then that's how they did fried chicken that way. It was like roasting the chicken in some type of way, some practice. It's been a while since I did the studies, but I was like, it comes from Europe, just like mac and cheese comes from Europe. It doesn't come from the South.
That I
So
know.
yeah, it doesn't come from the South. And then like if you think about cornbread, there's certain foods like what is it? I believe like grits. some of that stuff comes from the Aboriginal tribes in America. So, you know, a lot of people like, okay, what is like hominy or something like that? Hominy is like supposed to be like grits or something to the likes of that. I really forgot. Because even if you go into, well, you know, me and you both from New York. So like if you go to what's that place called? Golden Crust.
Golden Crust, yeah, the Jamaican restaurant.
Right. When you go to Golden Crust, they have something on the menu called hominy. Now that's the original name of the grits or whatever it was for that like they made it out of cornmeal. So that's the whole entire thing is that's why I don't really get that's the reason I don't really like to pay attention to that stupid ass shit when it especially when they do Caribbean versus African American. I'm like, y'all are like brothers and sisters to me. Like that's fucking dumb. But hominy is still a title they use in Golden Crust. So the whole entire concept of this whole entire argument about like, you know, soul food, that's why I'm going to be doing the digging crates on that. It's, you know, I swear I did notes on this and I forgot. But soul food, a lot of people believe soul food is just directly slave food. It's not. Now, if you're talking about something like chitlins, yes, I can believe you on that. But
oh yeah,
no.
Well, chitlins, I know that derive from the South. I know that come from
Yes.
Louisiana mostly. So they eat like heavy amounts of chitlins.
Yes, that's absolutely true. But
And hey, Arthur, what's going on?
peace. But that's the reason why I'm like, you know, in order for us to understand the certain rhetorics in the culture, of course, you have to go to like the food, and then you have to go to other things as well, right? So even when I broke down America in the stream. So there's the etymology of America. AME comes from French. Rica comes from the Portuguese, I believe. If I'm mixed up, then somebody can let me know. But if you really break down the etymology, it means soul rich. That's what it means.
Oh wow.
So especially
I'm
when you have,
love this because I did not know this. I didn't know any of this terminology. How
yeah.
how it separates from different origins. I didn't know that. This is
So
fantastic.
no, that's why I want everybody to come up here and you share, or you know, this is a free show, so we can talk about whatever. But when okay, so like the etymology of Puerto Rico, for example, you know the etymology of that? No.
As far as well, I know the history of Puerto Rico, but I don't know the etymology of Puerto Rico.
So Puerto Rico, if you break it down, Puerto means port. But then also, if you do
Mhm.
Rica, that means rich. So that means port of riches, right? I forgot what Dominican means. Haiti is from Haiti, which freaking forgot that. Jamaica, which is Zamaica, means land of woods. But then it's like a lot of people, there's a lot of conspiracies in that because you have Jamaica, the actual land, and then Jamaica
Mhm.
Queens is supposed to denote something a little bit different because I had to deal with the beavers over there in Jamaica Queens or something, some fucking crazy shit like that. But at the end of the day, Zamaica was supposed to mean land of wood. So, like I said, I love having these convos, but my whole entire thing is the whole entire ADOS and whatever argument, like, what are we fitting into what is black people then?
You know, and I think this is where social media and social justice becomes very toxic because now that we are trying to minimalize and separate different forms and people instead of being a collective, by doing this, we actually practice segregation because now we're just defining who should be classified as a black American. Listen, as long as you are from an African or indigenous descent and you are legalized in America, you are an African American. It doesn't matter if your parents or your ancestors come from slaves. It does not matter. If you are brown skin, okay, and you're either an African descent or a Caribbean descent or an indigenous descent like aboriginals, and you legalize in America, you are an African American, period. But I
Well,
think people have this perception that if you don't come directly from, the slaves that were imported from Africa, from the England to America, and if you're not a direct descendant of those slaves, then you're not really classified as an African American. And I really think that kind of hurts other black people who have a testimony of them being discriminated for their skin color or ethnicity, and it singles them out because now it's like, well, we don't care about you kind of Negroes, we only care about the Negroes that are in this land. So Forget about all the other Negroes. You want to be part of this, you got to be part of the bloodline. And I think it becomes almost pseudo-Nazi-ish. It's kind of sad, but it's like an inceptive tactic that I find that people divide themselves even further. You're all in an oppressed group. We should all come together and voice your concerns and struggles instead of separating and segregating and just being like, I'm better than this because I'm from this lineage and stuff. It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, the only thing I say, which kind of messed up and caused a lot of confusion, is the term African American, right?
Yeah.
Because the thing about it is that the thing about it that I disagree with low key is like, you know, the whole entire plight of Jesse Jackson and that nonsense he did back in the 1980s, and then, you know, the 14th Amendment kind of solidifying it by 93. It's like, okay, well, you're calling our people African Americans, but before that, it was Negro, it was Black American, it was all of this, and why
colored person
and color, you know what I mean? And then all of the division between the Aboriginals and Negro, like it was all just sorted out, especially in slavery times, because it was just a whole lot of different shit. So even if you hear someone claim their Aboriginal ancestry, if it's our people, they'll say you're not a real Native American. Okay, Native Americans of today, they're not even who they claim they are, because those are a good amount of them are so-called white people who came here in the 1800s. So why is it wrong for our people to claim aboriginality, but they can't? Especially off of what they did in the $5, not the $5 Indian Act, but obviously when they was able to go ahead and establish themselves as Indians. That's bullshit. So my thing of saying that is, the only reason I say it's such a confusion is because if you're saying African American,
I find that funny because there are white people in the South that has like 3 or 4% black blood, right? But you don't find them saying that they're black. Like they would try to put that in the side and be like, "Oh shit, I'm 5% black." Oh, I hope no one like notices.
Nobody knows.
But when they're 5% Native American, they will harp on that as if it's something so exotic. Like, yes, I'm part Native. I'm part of this country. I'm part of this indigenous bloodline. Right. But the 5% black that they have, they will try to hide that as if. Shit. But you know, it's hey, it is. You know what's
ironic? You know what's ironic? It's always the same motherfucking tribe, yo. It's always, what is that tribe they always say? Fucking Cherokee. They were like, yeah,
Cherokee or Navajo.
Cherokee or Navajo and stuff like that. I'm like, you don't know shit. So you're gonna disrupt Yamasee, Choctaw, and all the ones that was in the South, and then all this other shit. Like, we're completely ignoring that, and only because it's 5%. It's like you hold on to that. But it's weird because it's like, that's only 5% out of the 95% of your Caucasian self. So what the fuck, bro? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that shit pisses me off.
Arthur, you want to come in? Because I look like you typing a lot of statements there.
I'll open up the link to whatever. You go ahead and get your words, and I'm gonna just get my phone real quick so I can pin. No, I don't even need to do that. I'm fucking wilding out. I'm on my laptop. What am I doing? But anyway, I was saying, yeah, I'll be all over the place. But
I know, I feel you. I'm like the same.
Like way. That whole entire percentage thing, but I'm not gonna lie, our people do it too, though, because they'll be so eager to claim more than one race, and that's the stipulations that I have in it as well. Like,
but where does that come from? That comes from generational programming of anti-blackness, and by that I mean we want to be other because by being other it makes us feel special. If we have 10% Caucasian European or maybe 10% Asian, it could be anything other than the dominant percentage that we have, and that comes from, you know, internal hatred towards our ethnicity. It's sad, but a lot of black people do this because they want to feel special about having that small percentage. You know, they want to be, hey, I'm not entirely black, I have this in me, which most black Americans do have percentage of other ethnicity backgrounds. You know, my great grandmother is Caucasian. So from coming from that, it's like, yes, we do have it, but what do society is going to see us as. They're not going to see us as a mixed individual. They're going to see us as you another nigga, just like all the other niggas that I see in the street. Doesn't matter how light skin or dark skin. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, to them, that's how they're going to see you. And they're not going to care if you're mixed or not. So I think as African Americans, we need to realize that first, there's nothing to be ashamed of for who we are as a person, whether we're mostly African or not. We have to first realize that, and then love that aspect and embrace the aspect of our humanity. Because if we single out and wanting to be inclusive to other races and say, I'm part this and I'm part that, yes, you may be part that, but that's not what you mostly make up as. And it's not what you physically would be considered as. So you just need to be proud of who you are and not be ashamed of it.
Oh, my fault. I hear you. Good point. Uh, Blue Lion was good. Go get a word in, bro.
Yo, what's going on? Sorry, I'm on phone exactly because I gotta go to work tomorrow. But I was like, you know what? Let me just hop in exactly. Said ZTV said, might as well come on the panel. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna come on the panel.
All right. So you
All
got
right,
anything else to say?
well, let's see, Blue Lion. Well, you're defined as a Hebrew Israelite. So, what is your thought patterns on the idea of blackness? Now, do you go with the idea that the 12 tribes of Israel, which pretty much includes the
Yeah,
Western world?
Stoic. I'm so sorry. Stoic one's comment. Some Cherokee were slave owners. I heard about this when I was studying African history. I heard about. Yeah, I was like, really? They owned slaves?
Yes, they did. A lot of this is a thing. Well, when it came to that whole entire thing, and I believe the 1800s, you had 5 civilized tribes. If you got with the program when the United States was building up, or there was going to be some serious repercussions with you. And some tribes, there was a good amount of tribes who gave in and they assimilated with what the U.S. was trying to do. And Cherokee was one of them. They have it.
Wow.
It's the 5. Yeah, it was the 5 civilized tribes. I forgot what the fuck. I know it's the Cherokee, which the real name is Inuanya, and then it's supposed to be like Choctaw and like it's about 3 or 4 other tribes. It escapes my mind right now, but yeah, dude. Yeah, it was 5 civilized tribes. So Blue Lion, you're a Hebrew Israelite, right? So what is your thought patterns on what? Well, I know we say so-called black, but what is your odds on? Do you feel like the conversation about quote unquote blackness should include the Caribbeans and those in South America, Central America, Mexico, and probably Africa or Western Africa for that sake?
Well, I think we should be more educated about ourselves more and not follow by what the culture has taught us or the government's told us about ourselves, and know more about ourselves more. Because I just don't follow that cultural nonsense. I don't. I know a lot of people do, but me, complete opposite. And I even made a stream about it this morning. So let's just say I got a little irritated. So I just debunk. I see people I follow, of course, keep with the same title. So I just got irritated. I'm like, I'm gonna call this Mickey Mouse nonsense out. So that's what I did.
Important, but I wouldn't know this. Hold on, sorry. Important, but I want to know when you see things like there was a trivial thing that happened before with was it Rihanna? Rihanna, that happened, that whole entire thing that happened with Martin Luther King and about him having gold chains in his mouth, which was stupid in for lack of a better term. But that also spawned the idea about who is inclusive and having a conversation about blackness. Yes, Creek, Chickasaw, Choctaw. Yeah, thank you, Alexis. But that also was something that was brought into the conversation as well. Well, she's Bayesian, so why is she doing that? She thinks that's funny. That's not funny. So I'm trying to get a perspective, especially when there's a little bit of quarrels with people from the islands and then so-called African Americans on the mainland. Like, what is your take?
I think that's sad that Rihanna is clearly, she's a black woman. I don't care if she's light skinned. I don't care if her grandfather is Irish or her great grandfather is Irish. Listen, no one in America who's black is not fully black. Everybody has admixture, but we are black people as an inclusive to what society perpetuates us to be. And thus, because we live in this reality, we have to work accordingly to the structure of how reality is. I think it's stupid that they're critiquing Rihanna and saying that, oh, she's not black enough because she critiqued Martin Luther King. Like, seriously? But she was black when she was making music? Like, that doesn't make no sense.
She was actually disrespecting Martin Luther King. One of the channels I follow, called her out exactly on the nonsense, and yeah, I had to debunk, of course, of our people being so uneducated and stuff. I had to call out my people out for a second time, but third time I called them out today, I didn't care. It's like what I said, and I debunked that black nonsense they always say. Yeah, I used the Bible words to actually debunk what they said, and they make any sense.
What was the black nonsense that they were saying?
Seminole Indians. Yeah, that was the next one.
Yeah.
They kept on saying, "Oh, it's great to be black," blah blah blah. So I was like, you know what? Let's use the Bible terms so I can see exactly what y'all saying is correct. Because if it's incorrect, then you're just uneducated. You're not that very intelligent. Talking about most people in my race, and yeah, that's what I did. So, yep, I did the usual, of course. I debunk and show the receipts like I always do.
Right, but this is the thing. So, your take on Rihanna, however, do you feel like Rihanna should respectfully have a seat at the table when talking about blackness or so-called blackness or whatever, you know?
I think Rihanna should be absolutely in the seat of the table. She is a black woman. I think she's just light-skinned. Like, I think, hey, we claim, listen, she's been in the music industry for how many years? And she has represented black people and black culture. So the fact that she can do that, of course she can have a seat in the table. Because she's a black woman. At the end of the day, she's a black woman.
Mm-hmm. Blue Lion, what about you?
I don't agree with what she did, of course. She mocking, disrespecting Martin Luther King. But I will say, it's like, if Martin Luther King actually saw our race the way we was acting today, he'd be disgusted if our race. And I'm just going to keep it 100. And a lot of people might not agree with that, but it's just the truth.
I'm sorry, that's not on y'all. This is not for y'all. No, go ahead, my fault. Okay, well, this is my whole entire thing on that. I think it's a lot of people who did some foolish shit, especially when going ahead and mocking the people that came before our generation, like Martin Luther King or Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and this, that, and third. So they do stupid shit like have Martin Luther King in a do-rag and like gold jewels.
But think of the comedians like Bernie Mac and Martin Lawrence. They mock these black historians that, like Rosa Parks. If you look at in Living Color sketches, you got what's the Kim Wayans? She makes fun of Rosa Parks. So, but no one gets at her for it. Everyone is kiki and laughing and doing whatever because they know it's funny. Because guess what? This is a black sketch, and they're parodying what real black historians do, but in a comedic fashion. So I just think people just have a problem with it when it comes to Rihanna because they know Rihanna is light skinned and they know that, that she has admixture of Irish in her DNA. So they only selectively choose when they want to claim her blackness, and then when it's against, I guess, the liberation of black people, then they'll say, "Oh, you ain't part of the crew. You ain't sitting at our table." You know what I mean? But for how many years she's been sitting near a table making music?
Well, it's also something I noticed they did with someone like Nicki Minaj as well, which was confusing as fuck to me because then they brought up the idea that she's Trinidadian, and I'm like, who gives a fuck? I think in my opinion. Like it doesn't faze me. Like this, it's like to me, it's just like Nicki Minaj is like she's from fucking Queens. I'm still a nigga to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm doing.
Ew, she's bad, but I know Cardi B is worse. Ew.
Cardi B is still the fucking black.
Okay, so what
so-called
Cardi
black
B had
person.
said way worse, and I'm surprised she wasn't canceled for what she
Okay.
said about how black people have roaches in their apartments. But yet she wasn't canceled for that. But yet Rihanna is canceled for the Martin Luther King thing.
Okay,
I thought what Cardi B said was far more offensive than what Rihanna did.
let's talk about this, because it is a lot of fucking ignorance especially when it comes with someone from the so-called Hispanic or I don't want to say Creole culture. That's wrong. Not Creole culture. Forgive me for that. But from the Hispaniola culture or Afro-Latino, because I've heard a lot of this shit, especially my ramblings when I used to chill in the Bronx. Shorties like Cardi B, they don't faze me because they say stupid shit like that. Dominicans always say stupid shit like that. They always want to sit up there and say, well, you black people, you African, me no black. Motherfucker, I didn't see your ass right now sitting on the back of a BX3 bus from Washington Heights, taking your ass to the fucking Bronx, bro, and living in the projects. Stop the motherfucking cap.
And let's see the hair texture you got. A lot of Dominicans have the same hair texture. Y'all
just as ratchet and live in fucked up conditions, just like so-called black people. Will even live around so-called black people. So to sit up there and say what you say, I mean, I ignore it. I never got triggered by it. I was just like, that's some typical shit Dominicans or Puerto Ricans to say. But then the fact of the matter is, now the whole entire conversation about Afro-Latina comes in. Now, do we sit up there and vilify them and sit up there and say you shouldn't be able to have a conversations on blackness, because now it creates a grayscale area? At Cardi B, I mean, honestly, if you look at Cardi B, it's like fucking like, I mean, you could tell she's quote unquote Hispanic, but to me, like, if you're from the islands, I just don't see what the problem is. Maybe that's just me.
She's worse. She drugged up a guy and all that stuff.
No, he's talking about how she represents herself, like her ethnicity and her appearance.
That's regardless, Blue Lion. I'm not talking about that.
She wears a lot of makeup. She wears a lot of light skin makeup and wigs to make herself look more Hispanic. But if you ever seen her when she take all of that off, you can see that she is,
Bro, ZTB, I disagree with that. Dominicans and Puerto Ricans that's in the Bronx are rock weaves like it's nobody's fucking business, bro. And when I tell you, that's why I don't really pay attention to that, because they be like, well, you rock weaves like a black woman. You wear this like a black woman. I said, have you been around Dominicans? Have you been around fucking Puerto Ricans? They do the same shit. Yep. Literally. They rock. Look, if you really gonna get down to the nitty gritty, fuck that shit. Even the attire will be the same as a so-called black person. You understand me? They will come outside with some skinny jeans or fucking Crocs nowadays, or some Jordan 11s, just like black people wear. So no, I don't want to take that as a way to say someone like Cardi B is different, especially when it comes to the Afro-Latinas. I'm not taking it as that, because to me, it's just a certain way that Afro-Latinas carry themselves versus a wannabe down so-called white person. There is a total difference. There's a total. I wish I could really describe it, but even if you get into the idea of, let's say, let's quote the Bible real quick, even though I'm doing a horrible job on it because I gotta say, right? So my thing about it is the 12 tribes of Israel, this, that, and your third, and blah, blah, blah. Even when you put it to the nitty gritty, their mannerisms is very similar. It's just that they speak a whole different fucking language. And we all understand, if it came to the slave trade, there definitely was so-called black people that was there. Not only was there, that actually went over, that actually had to go over there. So that, and also, because I think I know Alexis from the Aboriginal sector. I'm not sure if that's her. But they had the Pequot people that was taken along the Atlantic shore all the way to the islands. The Pequots, and that was in the 1600s. See, a lot of people don't even know about that. Everybody just believes like, oh, well, all the Native Americans are Aboriginal people. They stayed. No, bro, like they was taking Aboriginal people that was brown skin and dark skin and taking them over to the fucking islands, bro. And they was doing trade-ins back and forth on the mainland and on the islands. Don't let that shit confuse you, bro. But going back to what I'm saying, it's weird to hear this Afro Latina shit because you got to understand history, James Keels. But and that's not an insult. But going to what I'm saying, I almost lost my train of thought. Lord have mercy.
You know how I feel when I'm like in a tangent. I'm like, shit.
When you're in a tangent, you going in, you be like, yo, I'm hitting this shit. Like, you know what I mean? I'm trying to get y'all to understand something. You know what I'm saying? But when they're talking about Afro Latinos, it's weird to me because I'm like, you've had definitely. What do you mean you're lost, bro? I'm not understanding what you mean by that. But okay, going back to what I'm saying, Afro Latinos, right? It's weird to me to have this conversation sometimes because even if you look at old quote unquote celebrities in Hollywood, you had Ananda Lewis back in the 90s. You had what's her name from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, who's Panamanian? Ashley. The chick
Ashley. What was her name? Tatiana Ali. Yeah.
Right?
And about her.
Alfonso. So, hold on. Alfonso is Dominican. Alfonso, the dude that played
Carlton. Yeah.
He's Dominican, bro.
Yeah.
Like, come on. And the dude that was on Joanna Man was also Dominican.
Yeah.
So where do we go with this conversation about why y'all picking y'all battles now, my nigga? It doesn't make any sense. But go ahead, ZT.
Yeah, I was reading an interview about Tatiana. She was talking about like she grew up with mostly all black people, but they knew that her hair, like the texture of it, was very straight. And they would make fun of her, like they will clown her and be like, you know, you're not really black because, you know, even though she was dark skinned as like your average day African American, her hair texture was straight. So she mentioned that growing up, she had a hard time fitting in because she didn't have the hair texture that they had. So what she would do is that sometimes she will like, I guess, curl her hair or kinky it up a little bit. So that way, you know, they could see her as, you know, being down with one of the other black people, even though she is a black woman, but her hair texture was just different. So I just find that someone like Tatiana Ali, who clearly claims that she's a black woman, you know, unfortunately she had gotten discriminated, you know, by her own people for it.
Right. But nowadays it's a different story, and it's
right.
I really think it's starting to pick up. I think it really started to pick up probably like in the not really in the late 90s, I would say in the 2000s, where now straight hair is being honored because the fact of the matter that classic shit that a lot of people say when you see a so-called black person that's attractive. You got Indian in your family? And you be sitting up there like, why? Because I'm attractive or my hair is a different texture? What the fuck does that mean? You understand what I'm saying? So it's really weird because I'm like, well, if you do the etymology or you do the right, and that's why I'm saying this is an open, hold on, just to give an advertisement to everybody. This discussion tonight, I'm trying to find out what people label as blackness, only because it's been a confusion that I've heard from a couple of panels. People say that if you're British, you shouldn't be able to talk on black issues. African Americans, yes. If you're African,
so Idris Elba can't talk about black issues, and Idris Elba is like fully African who only immigrated to Britain. That doesn't make any. People are saying this shit.
I'm gonna get into that because there's a lot of confusions on that too, and a lot of people have issues with British actors acting on black affiliated films in America. You understand? So going back to what I just want to make this advertising real quick. I'm here tonight to get a perspective from everybody that joins the panel, maybe in the comment section as well. You tell me, what is blackness? Is it just a concept that's geared towards African Americans and African Americans only? Does it include people from the islands? Does it include people from Britain? Does it include people from Africa? That's why I said if you're a Pan-Africanist, a Hebrew Israelite, an Aboriginal, or whatever your background is, I'm curious on knowing exactly what you think. That's what I want to know. So that's why I put the link out there. James Keels, you're available to if you want to come on a panel, express your mind, you're free to, brother. But that's exactly what I'm trying to know. So going back to what I'm saying. Yeah, and I feel like I'm losing my train of thought.
Felicia, what's going on, girl?
But yeah, yo, like it's just fucking crazy. Yeah, it's like, oh, the Aboriginal, oh, you got Indian in your family and this, that, and the third. I said, well, if you do certain backgrounds, you'll find out you might actually have so-called Indian blood in your race, in your lineage. You know what I'm saying? It's just been hidden, just like they don't talk about what was really happened in the Middle Passage of slavery and this, that, and third, which is another debate I'm trying to understand. You understand what I'm saying? I'm trying to understand exactly what it is. So I my belief systems, ETB and Blue Lion, my whole entire rhetoric on the slave trade, there's a lot of missing angles when it comes to the slave trade. And then especially when it came to philosophers that came onto the American land, they were calling people Moors, or they were calling them by different names to denote that they're black blue, that they're black. So a lot of this discussion that goes into it, I'm just like, okay, well, there's a lot of holes in that goddamn story. There's a lot of holes in that story, right? So that's my odds on that. But give it a go. What you guys thinks? What do you consider blackness? Does blackness just mean if you have brown skin? Is that all blackness is, or there's some another rhetoric to what blackness is?
I think it has a lot to do with a social construct and, I guess, phenotype, or what society perpetuates a black man is. Like, would you consider Dwayne The Rock Johnson, a black man?
It's really odd. I don't know, because he's Samoan.
But
right?
His father's Rocky Johnson, who's a black man.
So you are what you. In my case, I go by you are what your father is. You are what your father is. So if his father is a black man, he is a black man. See, I don't go by the determination of like mixtures and this, that, and the third. Like it only makes sense if you're going off of what your father is, because your father provides the seed for the womb. So at the end of the day, you know, that's what I like me. Like both my parents are considered so-called African American. My father is a so-called African American. So by that logic, I am still a so-called African American.
Right.
So that's what I go off of, right? So Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, he would be the same thing, right? So yes, Dwayne Johnson is The Rock, Felicia. That's correct. But that's my whole odds on that. So yes, he would be considered quote unquote black. But I wouldn't just get into that conversation for a second, ZTB. Idris Elba. I don't know what his nationality is. Does he come from Africa?
Yeah, I think he's from Nigeria.
See,
let me check. Let me do a Wikipedia search.
Yeah,
Hold on.
just do a quick Wikipedia search. And that's the ironic part about it, right? Because Idris Elba, Nigerian. Now, there's a documentary that I watch. I remember that when we're talking about, especially when it comes to Hebrew Israelites, there's a lost tribe of Hebrews in Nigeria. There is. So there's a documentary I saw about that, and I was just very curious. I was like, yeah, not necessarily, Shaka. I just believe the whole entire rhetoric of you are what your father is. I don't know if that's equivalent to the one drop rule. If it is what it is. But
oh, okay. I just found out his it looks like his father is like Creole, Sierran Creole, which is Afro-Caribbean mixed with French, and his mom is a Ghanaian woman.
So whatever his father is.
So
that's a nigga.
regardless of the fact.
Yeah. All right, so it's equivalent, Shaka. I got you. I'm not gonna debate that, but I'm just very curious.
Yeah. I don't call myself, like, I understand people who call themselves that. It's like, do you know who you truly are their ancestors? I mean, you just going by where you've been called the program for so many years that you're just used to it. Me, nah. I'm fighting against the programming, and I'm still fighting against it to this day. And I'm gonna keep on doing it. I don't call myself black. I call myself Israelite.
Okay, open up,
Like,
open up into what the program is, because I really want to explore. I believe you are what your father is. No argument there. Yeah, but okay, open up what the program is. And I'm only doing this because I want you guys to really dig deep into this conversation tonight. Like, I don't want to just be like, oh, no, let's dig deep into this. This is very important. Not because I want to get into the whole entire community talk. No, I'm only doing this for analyzations. I'm studying. So my thing is, when we're talking about program, who programmed us to say that we're Black people? Who programmed us to say African American? Even though my belief is it wasn't just Jesse Jackson. Jesse Jackson probably nailed the nail in the coffin. It was probably coming from somewhere else before that, because there was documents in the 1700s where they was referring to so-called Negroes as African Americans. So I just want to know, what was that program?
The government, the TV, the celebrities, was on movies and TV shows. They programmed us to believe that. Then on top of our parents was dark-dated as well. So it's been an ongoing issue for many, many years. So they want you to call yourself, Negro, African American, Black. It's all been a big lie. I mean, I'm just going to keep it 100 because, first of all, Black's not even in the Bible. Let's just keep it 100. It's not in the Old Testament or New Testament. I'm just going to keep it 100.
But we also must face the reality of the fact that we're in a society that faces systemic racism. So even though theoretically, yes, Black is nothing more than a social construct, that social construct represent our livelihood in this world and in this country. So we have to follow suit to what the social construct is if we're able to get rights or opportunities. So I mean, it's unfortunate, but that's just how history is, that's how it always been, and it's unfortunate, and we want to make a difference, like change the future for the better, but we can't ignore what's in the present,
Okay.
No, I don't say, I understand where people are coming from, but me, I'm just the opposite. So I guess you could say I'm more woke, but also I'm what's the word? I'm stubborn. So I'm stubborn for a reason.
Okay, that's granted. But what made you give into the idea that you didn't want to call yourself Black or African American anymore? What was your time? What was the battery in your back to say, me as Blue Lion, I am not a Black person, I'm not an African American? What specifically gave you that idea? I'm not doing that anymore. I know exactly what I am. I'm a Hebrew Israelite from the tribe of Judah, whatever you want to call it. What gave you that?
Well, it was because Men of Valor, ITB, like when I started listening to the Israelites, I started learning about my heritage more, who I was, and I was like, I'm not going to keep calling myself that nonsense anymore. I've been programmed and taught that way for years. I'm like, nope. I'm going to do the opposite and just go against it and call by what I'm supposed to be. So I'm going to keep it 100. That's how I've been for a long time. Ever since 2019. Yep. So I've been calling myself based off my ancestry, and I'm used to it because it fits me. So yeah. A lot of people in our race are not used to that because they keep on following the same narrative over and over again. So it's like they're trapped in the matrix, should I say.
Well, of course, that would give into the idea that certain people are stuck in their ways, and they may have. That's a tough one, right? Because I try to be very fair to people. Like, I don't like to, I'd be like, look, listen. This is the shit that I follow. I don't follow the same shit y'all follow. And it's always going to come with a conflict because let's just say me and ZTB don't agree on certain things. I'll try to be like, you might, I try my very best to be like, you're indoctrinated. Like, I don't try to spew that on certain, I don't try to spew it on certain people because I'd be like, look, you could have been very much asleep. Just like I'm still asleep to certain things, I'm conscious, I'm aware. But at the same time, I'm in no mood to get at people and say, you're just asleep, you're not woke. You know what I'm saying? Because that especially that woke shit nowadays, that whole entire woke shit pisses me off, especially if it's coming from the Black Lives Matter movement. Because maybe ZTB, you don't know, I'm very much against the Black Lives Matter movement.
Oh yeah, it's really was just, and it was founded not just in the liberation of Black people, but it's actually a group that really just politicizing on isolated incidents and only focusing to promote an agenda. So it's not really just for the liberation of black people, but more so an agenda crazed group that wants to, you know, be part of like this cancel culture business.
Well, that and plus they're trained Marxists. They just sat there and
Yeah.
bought a mansion, a communist mansion in Canada for $60,000.
You
I'm
see?
not okay with that. And the thing about it is that they say that they're against the nuclear family, which I'm for the nuclear family. I mean, if you're having a problem within the so-called black community where it's a large amount of, I guess the narrative, large amount of single mothers, then I would obviously think you would want the mother and father to be together to produce active children who's going to go ahead and do away with the curses that was done before.
And it's the unfortunate part about relationships is that usually the committing relationships are not like necessarily what people expect to have. So when usually it doesn't work and they have a child through their byproduct of, you know, just having sex, they realize that this future with that person, they don't want to spend the rest of their lives with. So it almost results in like just single mothers and taking care of the kid while the father is paying child support. It's very common, especially in the inner cities. It's very common. And it's unfortunate because then the sons or the daughters are taught they only have one parent. And I'm not saying single parents can't teach their kids values. Absolutely not. But it's more so the fact that that can get ingrained and they could repeat the process because they see their parents did that and that's what happened. So they can do the same and it'll become a common trend of lack of accountability. The sons don't want to be fathers and the moms have to be a single mom and take care of a kid that honestly it takes two to create. So it's like, you know,
that and the problem that I've seen from Black Lives Matter or just a good amount of the liberalism nonsense talking points of today, they're uplifting single mothers. They're uplifting that. They're literally saying you take a nigga for all that he got. Like basically, I've seen that, and I've been like, yo, what the fuck? Like, y'all cool with this shit? So it's cool to know that you're using a predatory mindset towards a man and saying, I only want you for your sperm. Get the fuck out, and I'm gonna have you pay child support.
No, I fully support like donors. Like I fully support if someone wants to adopt a baby and they get the fathers or they get a male to do a sperm donation. I fully understand that. I support that. But what I don't support is when you promote this idea of the gold digging aspect, like you mentioned, where you allow like single moms to collect, and label the father as being a deadbeat always.
Well, the whole entire gold digging aspect is
EAP. Cap. 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 Cap.
Just so you understand that's
absolutely
complete cap. What the fuck, yo? Like that it's a very poisonous type of mindset, and of course there's some of it that comes from the generational curses. So of course then they're just like, oh well, you know, they've even put that shit on me. I'm like, I don't have kids. What the fuck? Like, I don't have no children. Like, what? I would be a responsible fucking dad if I had children. And the thing about it is that how many times have you heard stories where men were the actual victims of these women trying to coerce them into having a fucking child? Who talks about that shit? About these women that's sitting up there talking about, I want to have your child. Let's have a child right now. Hold up, bitch. I'm not ready to sit up there and be no dad for no motherfucking body. So you can't put that shit on me. And especially women that could have pulled a fucking Drake type of stunt and sit up there and if the man slipped up, she then put that goddamn juice inside her vajayjay, and all of a sudden she's sitting up there talking about, I'm pregnant with your child, singing Mary J. Blige in the goddamn shower. How about those stories? See, I'm very fair and balanced when I make my assessment. It's not about me being a misogynist. It's not about me being a woman hater. It's none of that shit. But if you're going to tell me to be fair, I can call out men just like I can call out women. You understand me? Like, that's exactly the rhetoric I take with it. So yes, we can go ahead and say men out there are being very irresponsible with their penis when it comes to sitting up there dealing with a woman and sitting up there having sex and going free balling and shit. But then there's also women who have a predatory mindset on these men and sit up there and trying to gain some type of access by sitting up
Yeah.
there taking their sperm and then sitting up there lying and talking about, oh, he's not a responsible dad. You didn't give him a chance to be a responsible dad. You sat up there and you did that shit on purpose, and you're going to try to act as if people don't fucking notice and all that other shit. You need to stop the goddamn
CAP. 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 Cap.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's never going to be something that they're going to talk about because due to the feminist movement, the third wave feminist movement, and the idea that, you know, the men are always the predatory ones, that's why society and a lot of these movements, they don't really go for the males. They don't really like look out for the males. It's mostly the females who they perpetuate as the victim all the time, and then the men are always like the predators. They're always the perpetrators. They're always the users, you know, the abusers. And a lot of the times, sometimes the other way around. You got the females who use other men for their purposes so they can get that light-skinned mixed kid, you know, and they may use like a white person or a Jewish person or a Hispanic person to give him that. Meanwhile, while doing that, collect whatever funds that they can out of that person, like a leech, like a parasite that just takes from the host. It's like that. So, and they're not even telling. They're not even telling, especially when they don't say, when they told the man that, oh, I'm on my pill, you know, I'm taking the birth control, and they lie, and then the next thing you know, a few months later, they say, oh, guess what, I'm pregnant with your kid, so you're gonna take the initiative and be responsible.
Right.
But you lie to me saying that, you know, you took the pill.
And,
So you get what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And no, I agree with you 100%. It's a very toxic culture of America, in my opinion, or the Western world. Number one, it's another point that I want to bring up. It's even talking about abortions, and then talking about something else I want to bring to the table. But I mean, of course, they say the court system and about how things is usually in women's favor and this, that, and the third. But it's just that the toxic culture of today is just kind of to vilify men. And where I honestly don't get it, and I don't understand, is if so-called black men is at the bottom of the totem pole, how are we getting shit thrown at us and talk about we have privilege when literally at the bottom of the totem pole? Like, I don't understand that. Like, I'm not benefiting off of shit. You understand? Like, how the fuck you, like, for instance, it's certain things I don't understand when topics about male privilege comes up. Certain aspects I don't understand. Male privilege, like, let's just say, and this is why.
Well, there is male privilege, but it's not for black men. It's mainly for white men.
Right. But and that's the thing though. Now let's just say I'm having a conversation with a woman, it's getting intense, and my whole entire thing is, yeah, I get a little aggressive, and I'm speaking like, no, this is what it is. You're mansplaining. Huh? Wait a minute. How is it that my natural abilities as a man, because of my testosterone and just how I'm naturally built as a man, makes me the wrong person, and then I'm exhibiting mansplaining? Now, it's certain fuck shit that I've seen, ZTB, especially when BuzzFeed was very popular. BuzzFeed, and it was another liberal like YouTube page that used to have all that fuck shit. I never understood why women needed to do stupid shit like spread their legs on a subway train to talk about manspreading. Never understood that shit. Another thing I didn't understand, there was a video where it was a woman that was literally pouring water on men that was quote unquote manspreading. Also, besides
that's assault.
that shit,
You can,
that's assault.
Yeah.
And it's videotaped, and no one bats an eye. But if a man was to do that to a woman, automatically it would be
all hell will break loose.
right?
Oh, you're anti-women.
And
You know.
let me tell you this too. The not the last thing I saw, but this is the other clip that I saw that I was just like, this is madness. There was a Dominican woman that was grabbing men by their balls, like gripping their balls when she was just walking outside. She had a fat ass too, but she was walking outside, and she would go to random locations. She would just cuff a dude's nuts and then just walk away. I was like, yo, that's sexual harassment.
That's groping. That's like what Trump said, grabbing by the pussy. It's just like that. Yeah.
That's sexual harassment. But that was a quote unquote social experiment. So now we're talking about it's appropriate.
And who authorized that? That company should get a lawsuit for what they're doing. That's sexual assault.
I don't even know if it was a company, but it was a social experiment. But I just was still, even at the end of the day, I'm gonna punch you in your fucking face if you do that. I don't know you. You're not some chick that I'm smashing. So if I see you do that and you try to reach for my nuts, I'm gonna punch you in your fucking face.
Period.
Period.
Yeah, you violate my personal space. You touch my privates without my consent. You're getting this. You catching his hands.
You know what I
mean? I'm serious.
Yeah, for real, that ass. I don't play that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's boundaries that's being crossed. But going back to what I'm saying, especially about us as so-called black men. Yes, exactly, Felicia. That's sexual assault. And the thing about it is, it was literally on video, like it was a social experiment.
Wow.
You understand?
How did they let? She better. What?
Yes, this was a social experiment, ZTB. I kid you not. Like, this was literally online, and nobody had no fucking thoughts about it. Like, what the fuck? Like, I seen that, and I was like, how is this even legal? Like, what the fuck? Imagine me sitting up there grabbing a shorty by her crotch. I'd be put in fucking jail, and it would me too, my ass.
That is crazy. Like, how? Oh my God.
Right. And so that's why I get so confused when, especially because now this whole entire point of the black community, I'm just going to be honest, now it has to be agenda filled. I'm the enemy for sitting up there saying, I want to reserve my manness and my masculinity as a so-called black man. And then you have these men that's coming at my throat like, oh, you're exhibiting toxic masculinity and all this shit. I sit up there and I say, how the fuck am I exhibiting toxic masculinity for speaking my piece and sitting up there saying I don't have nothing to do with some of the bullshit that these everyday average Joe low blow ass motherfucking Negroes do to these women? Like today, like for example, like today, I was minding my own business, walking. I'm dropping off some stuff somewhere. I see about 4 or 5 so-called black dudes trying to holler at this random Latino girl. I felt sorry for her. Because these are what you would define as so-called Pookies and Ray Rays, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, take that shit, for example. Now, if she's wearing provocative clothing, there's ins and outs to that. Because it's like, okay, it's not like you're trying to get the attention, but obviously through the man's gaze, he's going to pay attention to you sexually. It's a mating call. But let's get off of that for a second. Let's rewind. That type of shit, they will sit up there and say that I exhibit and that I'm okay with a woman being objectified like that. And I'm like, no, I don't think that's cool. I wouldn't do that as a man. I wouldn't be trying to honk down or walk down a couple of blocks or down the street to holler at some random ass girl. I wouldn't do that. That's just asinine, right? But this is the type of conversations they fill her in. And then they put that on you when you stand your ground, especially as a so-called black man, and say, whoa, this is how y'all are. This is how y'all are. Like, no, bitch.
Yeah, generalize and gaslight.
Gaslighting, exactly. Generalizing and gaslight. And I'm just like, yo, again, I'm at the bottom of the totem pole. How the fuck do I win when it comes to toxic masculinity or male privilege to the same degree that a so-called white man can? How? If the so-called white man is at the highest point of the totem pole, how do I win off of that when I'm literally at the bottom? You would shit on me before you shit on him. You would think twice about sitting up there disrespecting him before you disrespecting me. It makes no sense. So I just have to really say that because it's just like, come on now, like it's certain things that they try to have in this nuance or this neo quote unquote black community. And I sit back and I say, a lot of you dudes sound like y'all straight out of college. Like y'all been reading Andre Lord and been sitting up there listening to a lot of that intersectionality stuff from the 1980s. Like I'm not, it's certain boundaries that's being crossed where I'm like, I'm not okay with this shit. And I have to really be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, there are. There are a lot of women who drug, date, rape other women.
Great. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a thing too. I think I should probably make this a topic. There's also something men are not, of course we know men are not likely to report that they might have gotten raped by a woman because it's seen as you were being a beta for
Or
not going ahead and-
effeminate or not a true man.
Yes.
And see, but that was an episode in Law and Order SVU, and they talk about how a man came to the police officer to try to let them know that they were raped. But at the same light, when they found out who the person that raped them and it was another woman, you know, it was a big thing to where he felt insecure because he didn't want like society to judge him or make fun of him. The fact that he's complaining about being raped because he's a man and he's being raped by a woman.
Right.
But it happens. And it's just sad that men are told to disregard rape as long as it's coming from another woman, that, you know, women are allowed to violate other men and not get penalized for it. And that stigma that comes, to me, that would be hypermasculinity. It would be putting that stigma that if you are a man and you get violated sexually by a woman, you're not allowed, you're supposed to like it and enjoy it and not like talk about it in a negative way or report the abuse, because then you would not be considered a real man. That would be toxic masculinity for me.
And yes, and I see exactly why you say that. Yes, I agree. And I know of a story that happened to someone, like they was having a discussion and say, yeah, it was by two girls. And I was just like, you know, before I was very immature and I didn't understand it, and I thought on that whole type of thing, like, why, like, what's the problem, bro? Like, you have two women that wanted to go ahead and get it on with you, but it's like if you feel uncomfortable, you feel uncomfortable. You know what I mean? And like, sexual advances does have to come with boundaries, regardless of gender. You know what I'm saying? It has to, because there's certain, like, and especially growing up, I think it's been one of those sort of things. Like, if you refuse to have sex with a certain woman, then of course it's about your sexuality. What are you, gay? You don't want to sleep with me?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, bitch, I don't want to fuck you. Like, either I don't find you attractive or no, I don't feel like getting a nut bust off right now. Chill out. You know what I'm saying? Relax, man. So yeah, things like that.
Yeah, that's part of the the toxic masculinity spectrum, where it's like if you reject a woman, they'll spread rumors that, oh, you must be gay then, or you must be bi, or something like that, when you simply just don't have any interest in having sex with them. You know, it's like that stigma comes from societal perpetuation, and women are to blame for that, because women do use that as their forefront to brag about it to their friends or to social media. They do all of that, so it's not uncommon, and they are to blame for that label, because they created, they take part in that. And so that's, you know, they have to take responsibility, you know, just like how the men take responsibility for that, women also has to take responsibility for that aspect.
Correct. Well, this is the thing.
Yeah, no one talks about asexuals because, you know, I don't know.
So let's dive into this now. I'm very curious on what, and Blue Lion is able to chime in. He can chime in.
Oh yeah, I'm blabbing away. I'm gonna let Arthur talk.
No. It's fine. It's completely fine. So I'm curious. So, do you think the idea about got James Keels? All right.
Yeah, man, I had to make some moves, man. I just got the little tidbit of what y'all talking about, man. Like, I want to know what Blackness is, and like, there's countless of videos on YouTube to let y'all understand what Blackness is. You got Tariq Nasheed, Foundation Americans. He teaching what Blackness is. Like, there's Hidden Colors 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to teach you about what Blackness is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, Malcolm X taught you what blackness was. Sam Cooke taught you what blackness was. There's countless material. The Black Panthers taught you what blackness was. Like, how much more evidence do y'all need what blackness is? And y'all got a cell phone in your hand.
No,
You
that's
got
not.
countless of books.
Well,
I mean, like, I'm a black man. My blackness is inherited. So
Well,
when I came out my
Your
mom's
blackness
womb,
is
I was a
hold
black.
on,
My
hold on,
blackness was
hold on,
apparent.
hold on. Wait.
Your blackness is what?
It was apparent.
Who? Your father taught you what blackness was?
No, I'm saying my blackness overall is apparent. Apparent
I
means
know.
it's
Which
evident.
parent? The mother or the
No.
No.
Apparent
Apparent
as
as
in
in
it was
obvious.
evident.
It's
It was evident.
obvious.
Yeah, it was obvious.
Which parent though?
No.
What are you talking
James,
about, bro?
James,
How
hold on,
like
James.
keep it real,
James.
like we don't need them anti-Semitics right now, bro.
Whoa, wait,
Oh my
wait.
God.
No, it's not anti-Semitic, bro. I'm trying to tell you when he's saying apparent, he's saying evident or obvious. Like
It was obvious when I came out my
though?
mom's.
I need clarity. Which one? The mother or the father?
No,
or both?
James. He didn't say parents. He said apparent, as in like
Oh.
obvious, like clear as day. That's what he means when he
When
says
I was birthed into
like
this world, it was obvious that I was gonna be treated by my blackness as what I define it to
How
be.
Your brain is not even developed when you was brought into this world. So how do you know what you was going to be? You know what I'm saying? Your brain not even developed yet. It's on KVZE
My form
now.
is though, and when I get put into society, that's when all the judgment
when you leave
and
your parents,
yeah.
when you leave your parents' home and you know how to operate on your own, dictates that. When
Well, I
you
would
have
say
to deal with
life. It's
when
not
you
even
have to
that.
do
It's
the
like when you in
trauma,
school and
right.
how the teachers treat you, and it's just when you going out there alone or just out there at all and see how society treats you, that's where you define how blackness is for you. I don't think there's a set rule. I just think when you're born into the body that people can clearly see that you are black, you're gonna know, like, hey, this is the treatment you're going to get, and
How
you
do
have to.
How do you know that though? How do you figure that out?
Because I learned through life
What was your
experiences.
experience like? How did you know a formative record that you was black? Like, what did you go through? Like, I don't know you, so I'm trying to understand that. I'm trying to get a better understanding of who you are.
Well, when you're growing up in society, the first thing your parents tell you is that you're black. And then they put the check mark when you doing applications. You put what race are you, black, white, Caucasian, Asian, or whatever. Then society, people around you, they treat you because they know you can look at yourself and see that. It's apparent.
Right.
It's I mean, it's evident that, you know.
Yeah,
Okay,
I did hear somebody do. You want to go, fam?
I got a question for you, James. So
hold
you
on,
did
though,
mention.
hold on, though, yo. Let's get some grounds right now. Am I able to ask you questions also, though? Because I don't want to feel like that I'm being interrogated. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to feel like that way.
No, bro.
And
Okay.
if I feel that way on this panel, I'm gonna drop down.
No, listen, James. The Brownstone Powwow is always about peace. I don't do arguments. I don't do the fuck shit. We here to have convos and explore each other's minds. So yes, you're available to ask me questions. You're available to ask anybody on the panel questions. Just like we always keep it respectful. This is what the Brownstone Powwow is known for. So it's a free ground, but I want to explore.
That's the fact, man. I like the way you talk so right now, because you sound like you got the gift of gab, man. Word up. You sound like that. Your buck could sell somebody some rice right now, man, for like $100 right now. You know what I mean? So I don't want to get tricked right now.
No, not at all, bro. I'm not like that. But I'm saying, well, my question is to you, James Keels, because the point of this conversation is that I want to have an open dialogue. I think you've been able to see in a space that, you know, you and I have been around where dudes is like, well, you know, you ADOS, so why are you talking? Or like, you're from Britain, so why are you talking? Or you're African, so why are you talking? So I want to know from you, what defines blackness for you? Is it primarily off of the idea, especially if you're saying Tariq Nasheed, that it's only ADOS FBA, or do you think
I gave y'all like no, I was just using him as an example because there's some formative information that these white institutions don't teach us. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying, about our legacy, our history, you know what I'm saying, our ancestors, our true culture when it comes to like martial arts, when it comes to like artifacts, you know, a pet of things. You understand? Like,
Right.
why do everybody get to have a culture or a true definition of who they are? Because you know certain traditions been passed down, but when we talk about what we want to do here in America, it seems like it's a problem, man. Why we
Right.
can't have what we have? Just like hip hop, people want to change. Like, yo, why they could say the N word? Why we can't? No, it's ours. Y'all got your own language. Like, the other side say cut, or like, yo, you a cut, or you this or you that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we don't use that in black culture. We got our own language in black culture. Why we can't have our own thing? Everybody else can have their own thing. The Chinese, the Russians, you know what I'm saying? Muslims, you know what I mean? Africans, you know what I mean? Since it's a widespread continent, different tribals, you know what I'm saying, can have their own thing. But every
Mhm.
time when we talk about what we want for our own selves, what is wrong with that? Why everybody is being judgmental? Or why
Right.
everybody telling us to be civil? Do you know what civil really mean when you use these words? Because words have meanings, bro, and words
Yes,
are
they do.
power.
Yes,
You
they
know what I'm
do.
saying? Why everybody else is not civil? The Muslims not civil when they took what they took. The Chinese not civil. But why the glass lens is always on the black man, and they always tell us to dumb ourselves down and be civil? No, I'm not being civil. Being civil is having being careful, or being thoughtful. They are not thoughtful of our problems when it comes to when we was picking cotton. They call us cassetta or whatever that word is. You know what I'm
Wait,
saying?
what?
They
You
use
mean
these
a kata?
derogatory. Yeah, yeah, there you go. That. Thank you very much, man, for giving me, the right term. Like, that's messed up. That's not cool, yo. That's not cool. We
So
we built. Okay, go ahead, bro. I
I'm
don't want to
sorry.
overtalk nobody because this is a touchy subject, bro.
No. I mean, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I want you to get off your
Nah,
opinions because I
man,
just wanted to.
I do it all the time, bro. Like, bro.
No, I mean, you're free to express your mind. I wanted to ask this question real quick. So, when defining blackness or talking about blackness, it seems as if you want it to be exclusive. Like nobody should only.
Yeah,
It should only be governed
like a
to
club,
us.
like a golf course, like a frat. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to go through training if you want to be part of this. And if you from somewhere else, it's like you got to respect it. If you from
Mm.
somewhere else trying to get into this fraternity, you gotta respect it. You can't interject. You can't do nothing. You gotta like participate in it. Even though y'all some people did participated in the Civil Rights Act, but they knew they lane though. They knew what positions to play. They bought something to the um to the organization at that time and period. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Everybody is talking about something, and nobody is bringing no true material, nothing that's worth value. Everybody just running their mouth, but nobody ain't adding nothing, and nobody ain't bringing no real defined definition or any solutions. You know what I'm saying? That is how I feel in my hearts of hearts.
That's respectable. I thank you for that. I thank you for that because
No doubt.
I just think that it's a lot of ways that this can go, but I mean, especially I hear I listen, right? Because the thing about it is
Right.
that if we're talking about exclusivity as well, then it will also come with the idea we have codes, right? We know when to
Right.
speak out about something and not to speak out about something. So I said the
Yeah.
conflict that I see is if we're
Mm-hmm.
talking about quote unquote blackness, and especially if we're relating it, not saying you did, but I'm saying if we're
Right.
relating it to the idea of FBA or ADOS, then you
You're
would
right.
know that the code would always be, let's say here in a virtual sphere, we don't talk about ADOS or FBA content on someone who we don't consider non-ADOS or FBA.
Right. There we go. That
That would
part.
be like African or someone who's directly not ADOS, like a so-called white person or Asian or
Right.
whatever. Like we know not to
Yeah.
do that. And too many times I've seen a lot of these messages spill, especially from TV. Like you remember back in the 90s, like a lot of those shows that featured like white hosts, and the shit would spread into like Ricky Lake, Jenny Jones, and then like a lot of this shit, you'd be like, wait a minute, how are we going along and talk about this pro-blackity black business, but you're saying in a whole so-called white person show, and the white person's just sitting there taking notes like, oh, okay, y'all said this, y'all said that. So obviously the code would be in effect where you're not, not to say that type of things. But I would say this as well, even though I know they're full of shit, even those like, I don't even want to say pro-black leaders, but those figures that's still known of today, ideally someone like Al Sharpton, he doesn't do shit, and he's the one that's still sitting up there spreading that message about pro-blackity black stuff, and then has a whole entire segment on CNN.
That's a fact, bro. Like,
how does that even make sense? Like,
you're right. No, you do make sense. It's like they put these projectory images in our face, and like it's blatantly disrespect. But as long, okay, boom, man. It's just like Birth of a Nation, man. Whoever holds the Bible or whoever have the verbiage or the rhetoric, you know what I'm saying, holds the keys to people's heart. It's your cadence, it's your presence, it's certain transmitters, virtual signals, you know what I'm saying, that translate through the brain, you know what I mean, that spark a certain emotion, you know what I'm saying? Because they did case studies of this, that they know how to spark, you know what I mean, black folks. Like, they know what to do, because once you get an elephant or a dog as like a pup or whatever, a cub or whatever, once you put that stick into that ground, you know what I'm saying, over time when it grows, you can actually remove that stick, and then that animal won't even leave that space, you know what I'm saying? Because they'll still, in the brain, they'll still think that it's still a pup or a cub, even though that it is a full-grown adult. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay. I dig that. Anybody else want to respond to James Keels or have any more thoughts on that? GTV Blue Line.
I'll let Arthur take over. I'm gonna BRB for a second.
Yeah, it's all good. Well, this is the thing. Let's get into another question round, I guess, because this is something I'm also trying to understand.
Right.
Do you feel like, especially when it came to the Bible, that was the detriment of our people? Like, we should have never learned the Bible, like, or do you think it's too indoctrinated to the point that kind of ruined the so-called black community?
See, the first thing that we got to do is, when we talk about these certain topics, it's like we got to take the feeling out of it, and we have to deal with logic and reason.
Yes.
Even though I may feel something, and that may spark of emotion, but it's not going to have me a logical explanation to explain this thing to you. So, logical speaking and being reasonable as I go through this process with you, I really think that the Bible did hinder us, you know what I'm saying, a whole lot, because what it did to us, it still made us a slave, you know what I'm saying, being weak, dealing with turn the other cheek, you know what I mean, words like being humble, stuff like that. Why should I be humble for? Why I can't be who I'm truly am? You know what I'm saying? That's not a man to me. That's still being a slave, giving praise to something that is fictitious. I can't see this. I can't see it. I can't touch it. I can't have anything that's tangible. So I'm not going off of my spark. I'm wishing on a star, or I'm hoping something will happen. And if that hope don't appear, or if I get that hope, that tangible thing for somebody, because I didn't do it myself, I'm asking for something, you know what I'm saying? And if that thing do happen, then I'm gonna go through that same process in my brain. And then what if that that hope don't come again. So I'm gonna put the blame on that hope, and I'm not gonna take responsibility for my own actions. I'm not gonna look myself in the mirror and really um have an inner talk with myself of why I'm stuck in this rut. If I believe in this fictitious thing, why am I still stuck in a box? Why I'm not outside of the box? Why I'm not using other tools that I could use, you know what I'm saying, to gain access to wealth. You know what I'm saying? When you read the Bible, it teaches you to give your money, not to um not to invest your money, not to start your own business plan. It's teaching you to give your money to somebody else, but still have hope into something that I'm gonna get to a certain place. But how do I really know is that place is real or not? How do I know when I go, I'm gonna be really judged on something? Because we are judged every day when we walk outside, or when we got our kids, when we around our family members, when we get pulled over, when we go to these institutions of learning, when we go to work, we always judge and scrutinize. So why do I have to wait to get gold or get trinkets? I have to die for that? Why that I can't get it when I'm alive?
I I I know where you. I get exactly where you're coming from. I'm gonna try my best to go with the logical reasoning as well. I feel like, especially when talking about the Bible, at first glance, through the slavery way of things, that it was propaganda. I think that it was mainly a way to kind of just disconnect, and a way for our people to be obedient to what the slave masters asked of us and demanded for us to do, and kind of just look at certain scriptures in the Bible to feel good. And you go to church and you see that white Jesus, and you say, yes, that's white Jesus, I praise him, and this, that, and the third. Now women even sitting up there saying Jesus is my husband, and this, that, and the third, and creating a whole entire idolatry, which God did not want in the first place,
I'm
right?
gonna look that word up, man. Idolatry.
Idolatry, yeah.
Word.
I think, yeah. But I was, my whole entire thing is that it was a way to cause a frenzy, and a way to kind of shift the mindset into saying, this is how you be a subservient nigga, for lack of a better term. And so after that whole entire thing, when we go ahead and we are in some type of equality, because I don't believe we're in equality at all in this so-called white rulership. um
Right.
they gave us the hope and belief system, like, well, when you living in hard times now, you living in hardships, but when you die, that is when everything is going to be in your favor. You're going to be able to live righteously, or how you wanted to live at all times, right? But my
Mhm.
whole entire thing is, that is the problem that happened, especially with so-called Black people, because it puts them in a victim mindset. So when they look at the
Fact.
Bible, they look at the Bible with disrespect, like, oh, what the fuck is this book? This book ain't this book ain't that. Oh, it comes from a white person, and blah, 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 blah. And the problem is that even with that, which I've learned like very recently,
Mhm.
it's in order for you not to learn who y'all are, because we already know, as so-called Black people, we don't know who we are, right? So we don't know. We know the African narrative. Oh, we all come from Africa, and this, that, and the third.
Right.
Now I'm a little bit wary on that, because of course, when it's coming from the public school system, you and I
Mhm.
both know that they lie in those textbooks.
Facts.
You know that they lie in the textbooks and sit up there and tell
Fact.
you that.
I had to find that out later. Like, I'm not gonna sit here like I just was already hip to what was going on. Like, this took me years and years and years to obtain this information that I learned. Like, nothing don't happen overnight, man. Like, you really got to
Mhm.
put the work in. And like, I respect everything you're saying, man, because you're free, man. You're a free thinking man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna put you lumped up in a group or anything of that nature. Like, you just a free thinking man. And
Mhm.
I respect your intellect, man. I don't care where you come from. You know what I'm saying? From these higher institutions of learning. I got that from Angry Man. He said, I don't care about that piece of paper. You know what I'm saying? I care about your intellect. I care about your actions. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I really feel that, bro. Like, I respect your intellect, man, your words, your cadence, man, how you put words together. And you just don't say like, well, yo, man, done. You know what I mean? I do that because that is the environment I come from. I've been around a lot of Brooklyn dudes from the Bronx. You know what I mean?
Bro, me
Jamaicans,
too.
Dominicans. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have any race. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I hate the white man. The white man. Yo, my uncle who passed away many moons ago, he was married to a white woman for 30 years. So why would I sit here and say that I dislike that person? And my aunt is white, which is my uncle, you know what I mean, wife. Like my first cousins is black and white. Like, come on, or white and black, or like however you want to do that.
Mixed. It did mix.
Yeah, they mix. You know what I'm saying? Like I went to the first time I met the white family, I didn't know what to expect when I walked through that door, but they was cool as shit. They bikers. Leather jackets. They had to break down the patches to me at the time. I didn't know what a prospect was. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know like the hierarchy of that thing right there. They even every place you go to got a hierarchy, bro. And everybody got to start somewhere. Either you are somebody or nobody, bro. So being a somebody, it's the way you talking right now, the way I'm talking, the way New talk. Yo, he's in the chat box right now, man, and he shouted me out, man. And me and him had a little bit of friction on another panel, but we didn't make any videos about each other. We didn't go back and forth. We said what we
Not
said.
nigga shit. Yeah.
Yeah, and we kept it pushing. Like
Yeah.
that's growth. That's being a man at the end of the day. That don't got nothing the institutions, that got nothing to do with school. That got something because the job that New do, because I went to his platform and I actually subbed to his channel and I seen some of his IG stuff. Like he's in the field, man. He got a hard job to do, and that's a man's job. Like he do construction or whatever. Maybe he know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm saying it wrong, but he do some type of construction. And that's a man's job, and that's a physical thing. He using his hands, he using his intellect, everything else, man. And you know what I mean? And he got body, man. So I may go back and forth. I may throw my darks at him though, but I still respect that dude though. At the end of the day though, because me and him be on the same platform, so we got no choice but to respect each other though. You know what I'm saying? Man's gonna argue, man's gonna, say a little bit of things or whatever, but at the end of the day, we're gonna come to a conclusion, man, because we both 360 though.
I respect that a lot. The 360. Yeah. I respect that.
Yeah.
I know that's like that.
Everything moves in circles, man. Then I gotta give a shout out to Just Andre for that, yo, because I didn't come with that theory. That's Just Andre. You know, he's in another sector or whatever. But I still respect that, man.
Shout out to Villain Sphere.
Yeah, yo, the villain sphere, you know what I'm saying? I respect him, and you know what I mean? Far as, I'm gonna leave it like that though. I digress.
No, you got it. Yeah, it's all pigs. But getting to where I was getting into, I think the whole entire pause thing is, yes, the school, the indoctrination, the whole entire, a lot of our people always say this shit, but I say it's a lot of certain.
Okay, I'm back.
Right. I ain't mean to cut you off. Yo, New said, let me get some context. My bad, New. He said electrician.
Yeah, electrician. Yeah, dope. You know what I mean? I just want to see my brothers make money. But what I was saying is like the whole entire thing is that they make you go into a surface level where all you know is Africa. And if you're gonna study Africa, show me exactly what tribes or this, that, and the third you might have came from. Especially if, the thing that I like to learn is about the Hebrew Israelites. You will find Hebrew Israelite tribes out in Nigeria or certain places in Western Africa. And so
Facts.
The whole entire concept that that's the whole thing they bring into school, but I don't disown the Bible. And a lot of the problem is the exodus of I don't try to go the Christianity route I'm
Right,
trying to
right.
do that.
But
But I respect the Bible for what it is.
yeah, me too, yo. Cause what you see, oh man, yo, man, how can I? Okay, boom. I'm gonna do it like this, right? We all know, the Holocaust, whatever, right? We all know what happened or whatever. But look
Yes.
what they did though. They still go back there and visit those places. They take their kids there to let them know we never gonna let this happen again. So what they did was they went to Israel. You know what I'm saying? It's still small, man. It's still a young country. That's one of the youngest countries, bro. You know what I'm saying? I think it was built like what, 1864 or something like that.
What, Israel?
Yeah, Israel was built where? When was Israel built? Like, it's
Where?
young though.
Well,
You mean the current Israel or like
the
biblical
current
Israel?
Israel, right?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Let me
like
see. Hold
one of
on.
them, yo, because
The
I had
current
Googled it
Israel.
and it's still fairly
Yeah,
like
after World War
it
II,
ain't like America, like how it's hundreds and hundreds of years
it
old.
was James. It
Mo-
was. I believe it was 1947 when
Yeah,
after
yeah,
the
look at
League of
that. 19,
Nations.
look at that. That's still fairly young if you really look at things. If you really look at the overall thing and look
Yes.
how that thing transpired to be a superpower as it is right now, with its own military, with its own schools, with its own roads, you know what I'm saying? Businesses going on, importing, exporting of trading, you know what I mean? Things of that nature, you know what I'm
What,
saying? With
Israel?
the women. Yeah,
Israel.
Israel
They
is.
have people fleeing from Israel right now. Actually.
Oh, but back when it was built, you know what I'm saying? It was good. It was a good
Yeah, they
thing.
kind of
Far as,
annexed the Palestinians. They kind of got rid of them
yeah.
because
Yeah.
they were the
Oh,
natives
okay.
of Israel, and the white
And
Right. But
Jews,
I
the
thought,
Ashkenazis, they
right.
came in there.
and
But
then they have.
they still obtain a nation though, no matter what though. They still got a flag. They still got a flag at the end of the day. Still recognizable. You understand?
Hmm.
Still got substance. Even though whatever going on atrocities right now, they still have something. You know what I mean? They still
Right.
built something. So
I
at the
get
end of
that.
the day, you can't knock that. Whatever going on, that's just things that just happen, part of social economics, power plays, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? When it comes to that. But like you said, we need to obtain that too. We need to get rid of the Bible. You know what I'm
No, I
saying?
didn't say get rid of the Bible.
Nah, but to me, if we want to have something, like we gotta totally get rid of stuff. Like you gotta unlearn and relearn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
but
in that process,
in order for that, black people have to come together and talk about microaggressions. They got to talk about the divisions that keep them separated
right,
and learn
right.
to accept the differences when coming to a common agreement, because what happens is that you have black people that come from different backgrounds and they're not willing to agree with your rhetoric or what you promoting. They have to see the bigger picture, but in order to do that, you have to come to a common ground of understanding. Mm-hmm.
And this is where, since we got these platforms, this is where like the Patreon come in, because we know we can't
Mm-hmm.
really get to the core of things, really talk about Muslims or this or that, or how to come together. You know what I'm saying? Because there are certain things that have to be into play in order for them things to happen. If you want to get to the to the root of things, the root which holds the tree. You know what I'm saying? The root is mightier than the tree. Yeah, everybody got to bark, everybody got to bite, or whatever the case may be, but nobody really don't got no grassroots though. Nobody ain't that strong enough. You know what I'm saying? And it's not about your character. Everybody got a character when they go to their job or whatever, when they go to their interview. That's a character, right? Everybody got a character walking among us. There's billions of people, millions of people, whatever, right? Everybody got a character. We walk past people every day, right? But who is the orchestrator though? Who is the puppeteer? Who is the master behind these things? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be a character. You know what I'm saying? I want to be the editor. I want to be the producer. You know what I'm saying? I want to
Mhm.
be the contributor. You know what I'm saying? Like the deal that Master P had. You know what I mean? A partnership, things of that nature. That's what I want. I want that. I want to be the orchestra who control the characters, because everybody's a character. Everybody can say they're a character. Then you fake fictitious to me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you a character. You like a dog. You know what I'm saying? You barking. That's it. That's a character.
Well, being a character and
Barking, making
having
different
character.
sound effects and this and that.
Well,
Like,
well,
Well,
you know
I
what I'm
always say
saying?
this. There's a
Talking about
caricature,
mommies and
like when people
daddies
try to fake it and
and
phony. Yeah,
uncle. Like, nigga, you a character. You a whole character. You need to be in a
well,
mental institution.
wait,
You
there
need to
there is
get
a thing where you got other
hold on,
races that
hold on, guys,
tend
hold
to.
on,
Okay.
hold on, guys. But I think this is a very strong point. This is why I like
Yeah,
Sean.
absolutely.
I like that New said this. Well, there's being a character and having character,
Having a
right?
character. Yeah.
And so because we talk about that in conversations or just in general, right? Being a character, like putting on a facade, in which I think James is alluding to, and then
Hmm.
right.
having character, a way about yourself that permeates through just your natural aura as a person. You know what I'm saying? So
Organic.
But
I
it's
definitely,
deeper. Then it's deeper than just having a character though. Like, it's having a code of conduct.
which can go
What is your
along with
code
having
of
a character.
conduct? What is your code of conduct? You know what I'm saying? Like, when you go to an organization, even like the Mexican mafia, they have a code of conduct. When you go to the military, they have a code of conduct. When you go to the police force, they have a code of conduct. When you go to the fire department, they have a code of conduct. When you go to when you join a fraternity, they have a code of conduct. You know what I'm saying? When you go to your job, they have a code of conduct. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? It's not about that, like, your characteristics or anything. What is your code of conduct? What do you honor the most in your heart? See,
Right. But,
the thing
but let me
is,
say this, James. Let me
yeah,
say this, James. Not to
yeah,
interrupt.
no doubt.
That's correct in what you're saying, but I still think that aligns with having character, because having character illustrates the idea that there's a certain way you move, which would be the code of conduct
You're not one
individually.
dimensional. Like you're
Yeah, right.
multi-dimensional
You're
person. That.
multi-dimensional.
Hmm.
And
That's
some of
still
these
that.
dudes are one-dimensional. They
Yes,
are
that's
like
absolutely
they
true.
are like only one crayon. They only one crayon. They can't get multi crayons. Some of these dudes actually color in the lines. They don't know how to go out of them lines. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Well, to you, do you believe that's being a character, or do you believe that's having a character but just in a low-brow way?
They having a character, man, and it's being loud in a loud way, man. It's like having a hit dog that just hollering, man. They just hollering, exploring these things, regurgitating other people's information. You know what I'm saying? And it's not their idea. They can't even formulate their own thought process. You know what I'm saying? Cause
So,
ain't nothing original. It all been created. The only original thing is if you change the language. And some of these dudes can't even change the language.
but there's something you said where that kind of would remind me of what you're saying. That's putting on a character or being
They
a
are putting
character.
on a they
So
yo
with
man,
that,
they
but
putting
what?
on a character, they putting on a character so bad that the Clement that the podium that they think they in their head, they really not on that podium. You know what I'm saying? They really the audience though. And
Well,
in
James,
their mind, you
that's
understand?
establishing.
Or
No. I get what you mean, but that's establishing the first thing that New said, which is being a
right.
character, right? So
They
if
are.
you're talking about if you want to talk about having what is it, having character, I
Mm-hmm.
guess it would mean more of the positive things, right? The positive reinforcement in which there's a code of conduct in an individual sense where
Right.
there's something about you that you're carrying that permeates amongst other people. Like
Can I say something about that topic that you
I'm a,
just brought up?
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a finish this thought. So
Right.
with that permeate with that doing what it does, you're
Mm-hmm.
able to seem as a leader and see as someone to be held in high regards, as opposed to what you said earlier about that person being one-dimensional and this, that, and the third. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Yes, sir.
that's what I would get at. Go ahead, ZTB. I'm gonna get a drink of water.
Yeah, I think what you were talking about is like putting on a character, like a caricature, like wearing a culture like a costume, and then trying to use that as like a forefront to say I'm this, I'm that, because I emulate those kind of traits that will be seen as stereotypical. So I think in that retrospect, that would be a caricature. But character would be like quality traits that embraces your natural personality, or it show forth things that people can admire or people can respect, and it brings out your inner nature of who you are as a person, rather than a costume or a role that you're playing. You know what I mean?
Right. And most of these dudes are playing a role. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They just have a gospel. They have an audience. But like New say, the code of conduct is imparting. You know what I'm saying? But it's imparting within, and it's the truth. It's the truth of God. You know what I'm saying? Some of these dudes just have rhetoric of a gospel. All they do is be in these spaces and it's gossip of the character. You know what I'm saying? But the imparting of the truth is the word of God, the God that's within of you.
Yeah.
Empirical information. You know what I'm saying? Who you are. Empirical information. I am imparting of the truth. I am not the gospel of the truth. You know what I'm saying? I am God. That's who I am. That's who New is, and that's who many other people on this platform are.
Yeah.
The big difference between being a gospel of an audience and imparting the truth of within. It's a big difference, man. And not too many people know how to split that in half and discreate that. You know what I'm saying? If you understand what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
It's facts, bro. You know what I'm saying? Google the imparting of the truth of within. That what New just said. I salute that brother. No doubt, man. Thank you for that. The code of conduct, the imparting of the what? Of within, right?
Okay. Code of conduct is imparting character within you.
Facts. Hella facts. Big facts.
Facts.
Yeah, I mean, like our personality and what we do for the world and how we exhibit our expression is exactly divine, or divinity in ourselves. Our existence alone and how we contribute to society, how we make life and how we bring life is what, I guess, godly, or how we can be like a god, because we're a reflection of a divine one. So our existence speaks for itself.
True indeed. And let me say this. Hey, yo, New, I hope you listening, man. That is way different from what we heard earlier today. I'm not going to mention other platform, but we was on an earlier platform before we came to this one. It's a big difference for what that platform or that gentleman say to what me and you already know without a reasonable of a doubt. You on the day? It's a big difference, man. So I want that to weigh the in, man, and think about that, man. Think about word. What'd he say? What New said?
It says, I don't know if it says 11th degree, but I guess it says 11th degree.
Oh, the
11th degree.
The 1 through 14. Oh, okay.
1 through 14. Have you not heard that your word shall be bond regardless of whom or what? Character, culture/freedom, character, divine character.
True indeed.
Factuals.
Right.
But yeah, no, you guys are
that's
doing
the
a
1
good
through
build.
14, man. He talking about the lessons. He's talking about the lessons right now.
From
man.
the 5%?
Yeah, yo, from the 5% nation, man, with with Clarence X13, man. He started the nation of
Yeah,
he started the Nation of Islam in Harlem.
yeah. I know about that. They have the spot on 126 and Adam Clayton Powell. Is
Oh,
that one
okay,
that
yo,
has
that's what's
this?
up. I didn't know the location. Yo, that's what's up.
They have, what is it? The seven. What has the seven? I forgot what the seven represents, but it's supposed to have the canopy and it has a seven on there. I know it's a
Right.
seven and a sun. I don't know what, you know what I mean, but yeah,
Yeah,
a lot of.
yo,
See,
that's like,
the ironic thing is they have a lot of stuff out there. I mean, they had the One West School for the Hebrew Israelites, and then obviously the Nation of Islam, and then the 5%. Yeah, so I need to know. I need a little bit more knowledge on the 5%. I remember chopping up with a brother about the 5% before, and
yeah,
I didn't
man.
understand.
He just talking about like Allah, man, like the arm, leg, arm, head. You know what I'm saying? And the sun is just the all side being. You know what I'm saying? That's
Okay,
all. Yeah.
okay. I'm open to the information. The
And
last time I
then it
remember,
go deeper than that. Then it go over like love, peace, you know what I'm saying? All of that good stuff, you know what I'm saying? The 1 through 20 is talking about your shelter, culture, freedom, you know what I mean? Things of that nature, you know what I mean?
right? Because the
Stuff
last
like
time I
that. I
remember
know a little
speaking,
bit too, man. I used to be heavy in it though, but you know how things happen, life happen. You have a family, you have kids, you work, and
yeah,
then you lose the sight of that. So I need to get the information again too, man. So, you know, sometimes you gotta wash and rinse, man. You know what I'm saying?
mm.
You got,
I'll say I remember speaking to a 5%er. The 5%er, me and him was chopping it up about the Bible, but then also we got into the conversation about so-called white people and about the story of Jacob, how he created the so-called white man for 6,000 years.
true
Um,
indeed.
I was learning that shit. I was just like, wow, I never knew, like, certain stories, but this brother actually had a mixed child with a so-called white woman. So I said, if you call the white
Right,
man a devil, what is the white woman? Like, really think about that for a second. If you're saying the white man is the devil, you can't
right.
stand the devil, you can't stand the white man. What is the white woman?
The white woman is Lilith, man. She's Lilith. You know what I'm saying? When you out, because you gotta understand, man, like when the man, with Michael, you know what I mean? Like, okay, boom, man. Like you gotta understand before he was a serpent, you know what I'm saying, and all of that, whatever, he was also the angel, you know what I'm saying? Most decorated angel of all, you know what I'm saying? When Adam was there before Eve, there was another woman there, you know what I'm saying? She was a sexual demon. You
Lilith.
understand? She was Lilith, you know what I mean? And then when it comes to Lilith, you know what Lilith did. I don't want to touch on that topic, but you see what's going on with Planned Parenthood, you know what I'm saying? Roe versus Wade, you know what I'm saying? It get deeper than that though. You know what I'm saying? It's 500K kids being murdered as we speak. Like, and the numbers it's astonishing. You know what I'm saying? The numbers keep on rising. So if you put that together with the Bible or whatever, then you're gonna get your information right there. Everything is just information. Everything is stories. You know what I'm saying? But these stories, some of them it's all about how you take it. You know what I'm saying? What lessons do you want to learn from it, man? You know what I mean? How is it? How do you apply that to your life? It's all about life lessons. You know what I'm saying?
I
That's the
respect that.
thing. Yeah,
Yep,
no doubt.
I respect that a lot.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it, man.
Oh, no problem at all, bro. It's always good vibes over here, bro. So you know the deal.
Word, man. Yeah, man. I didn't know what I was walking into at first. I didn't know if I wanted to come on the panel or not. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. Great build, man.
Of
You know
course,
what I'm saying?
anytime. And like I said, it's supposed to just
Yeah,
be
he was a reptilian. He was an Enki. Yeah, Lucifer in the Bible. He was a reptilian, an Anunnaki reptilian.
okay. I think we got to do a build on that one day too, talking about the Bible. We dig deep. I actually think I did
Right,
something
right.
about that. I did that on a panel a while back, but yeah, we're gonna have more discussions on that. But
Sumerian texts, because they go really deep into the
but,
lore of the Old Testament Bible. It's really interesting.
Yeah, true indeed. But when they talk about a serpent, though, like he come from underneath the ground, and he, you know what I'm saying, from the ground up. So he serpent. You know what I'm saying? He rose up. You know what I mean? And you know what a serpent do, man? A serpent not to manipulate, man. It's all about manipulation at the end of the day. Like, yeah, I understand what you're saying. That's true too. You know what I'm saying? But the word language changed from what it is then to now. So I think that we need to have a build on that. And I would like the that person expertise to come on the panel, man, and state your case. Like, I wanna, you know, I'm willing to learn too. I don't know everything.
Wait, who you said to come up on the panel?
The one I was talking about, the serpent.
Oh, Ben Garcia.
Garcia.
Yeah, Garcia.
Garcia is definitely a character who has character.
Within the character, yeah, no doubt. I respect that.
Because Garcia, I thought at first Garcia just be trolling and just be saying some fucking nonsense, but then he be hitting you with jewels, and you be like, damn, he really actually be saying some dope ass shit. Shout outs to Garcia. But yes, that is a character who has character. You know what I mean? Yeah. Otherwise than that, I might try to hop off to somebody else's panel soon.
Where you going to, man? Like, where you going?
I think who's live right now? I think I'll come up when we have that conversation.
Garcia, yeah, I would love to have a conversation about the Sumerians and the reptilians, because
I mean, it's open like still. It's not like I'm automatically jumping off. I mean, you can go ahead and hit the link if you like, Van Garcia. If you're not in like the next 30 seconds, then go ahead.
Like no said, arm, leg, arm, head, supreme head. You know what I'm saying? 72 times 5.
Damn, I need to learn that shit, low key. But no, I was gonna say I think there's a couple of people I know that's live right now. I think Melody, my homegirl, is live, so I'll probably discuss some shit. I think there's a lot of people think that when I come up on panels nowadays, is like my whole entire sense is to troll. I just be asking certain questions, and you know, my rough exterior. Like people expect me to just be like, why are you coming at them like that? I say, you don't understand. When you live in New York, you have a certain way about you that just is very rough. It does not mean that I'm
we're very abrasive, but we do it because that's just how we naturally talk.
That's how we are.
Yeah. Yo, New York is the mecca of everything, man. Come on, man. Like, and then you got that style. Yo, trust me, man. Yo, man, like, they be trying to control me, trying to contain me too, man. Nah, you're not going to contain me, control me, or whatever. If that's what it's going to be on your panel, then I ain't coming. I'm like how y'all gave me free reign. You know what I mean? And we had dialogue back and forth. You know what I mean? Then we came to an understanding. That's a bill. I mean, and most panels are not like this. So you definitely got to be careful about where you go to.
Yeah, I'm learning that as I go, because it's not even like it. For instance, like I don't even like entertaining arguments like for because certain shit just be remedial, and I just be like, ZTB knows I like to make people laugh and just be funny, but it's just
the life of the party.
Exactly, like it's just like certain shit just be wild fucking remedial, and it'd be like, what the fuck? Why the fuck you arguing with me, bitch? I even do nothing. Like, why? What the fuck? Calm the fuck down. Like, yo, I didn't
like, yo, in real, see, I got the same problem. I'm like, yo, I don't even deal with chicks like y'all in my real life. Like, okay, boom. When you go to Baller, because I'm up on Baller X 2.0. Shouts out to Baller, man. I don't know if y'all know that channel.
Yeah,
but shouts out to Baller. I'm over there twice already, man, and like my last video, man, like, yo, I went all the way in, man. That's what I do, man. I'm not playing. I'm not playing. New York, man. I'm in Rochester, New York, man. So, you know, y'all are family, man. So we got to stick to New York, man. If that's what's going to be, that's what's going to be. They want to stick with their little southern thing.
Hold on, brother.
Yeah.
Tyler, write in the private chat who you are. If you're a troll, don't come on here. I'm not with the troll shit. So I've never seen a Tyler before. So
Yeah, yo, because you don't want that person to come up on the panel
this
and
guy
show
is a
some,
fucking troll.
yeah, like show some news shit,
What
and
the
then like
hell?
this whole screen would get blocked
That's
down.
why I did exactly. That's why I did that. This guy
Like show
tried
your
to just.
face in the back chat, like show like your, you know what I'm
That's
saying?
why,
Like show,
because that's why I'm. You know what? How it is being a content creator. Like you have to
right.
be careful with this now because they'll
Don't
porno
bring
bomb your
everybody up
shit.
on the panel,
Yeah,
bro. Don't do
exactly.
it.
They'll porno bomb your
Don't do
shit
it, because
and then just be like,
they'll
oh,
do
you
like
know,
a picture, and then like your whole live stream will get shut. And we
yeah,
had a
and that's
powerful bill.
exactly. And I'm like, yo, I don't want no fuck shit. So
Don't even
like,
bring
yeah.
that person up, bro. Don't even risk it then.
Yo, no. What the fuck? Hold on. Who the fuck are you, Tyler? No, listen. I ain't even pissed. I don't do the fuck shit. Who the fuck are you, bro? You're some
Yeah, I never.
random white kid. Who the fuck are you? Who are you, bro? Hold on, guys. Let me do this. Let me bring this. Everybody chill in the back. I'm gonna mute all of y'all. Let me see what's going on.
Okay.
Hold on.
What's up?
What's going on, bro?
Nothing much.
So you pretty much new to the panel. Why did you put Jesus as God and all that other stuff in my chat?
Oh, that's the only thing I put though.
You recognize my stream, or you just a newcomer to this?
Oh no, I literally just searched StreamYards and found this. I've never even met any of you.
Okay, I'm only skeptical because you're new here, so I don't want no trollish shit. I don't want.
Oh,
nothing.
I understand. Yeah.
Just contribute to the conversation. I don't do the troll nonsense. So
I got
that's
you.
why. You know what I mean? I'm being respectful. So I mean, if you come with any weird shit, I'm gonna bop you off here.
I understand, bro.
All right, I'm gonna let everybody up. I'm watching. All right.
All right.
Watch him like a hawk, yo, cause
Listen, my name is Bronzebird. I'm really slick, and you know what I mean. So what's your thoughts on, I guess, Jesus? Since you said Jesus is God on the thing, what's your thoughts, Tyler?
Oh well, I believe in the Trinity, so that's what I believe.
What is the Trinity?
God is three persons: Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
Okay. Now, does that follow behind an actual, how do I say,
denomination of a religion?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what all the Christian denominations teach: Catholic, Protestant, Orthodox. They all teach that.
Do you define yourself as a Christian?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, yeah. I mean, I have nothing on that, but I mean, I was just really curious on like learning where people's mindset in terms of like their odds on religion. You know what I mean? So yeah, I get that. I respect that. What was your journey though?
Well, I don't know. It wasn't really much of a journey since I was kind of raised into it, so. Because I'm from the South, so.
Where are you from?
what part of the South you from?
Mississippi.
Oh, okay, man. I've been down there before, yo. Do you know where West Point located at?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I have an uncle down there, cousins. You know what I'm saying? I have a large family back there, man. Like in the backwoods, though. So like we actually walked to the store, yo, like to the gas station over there with no sidewalks, no lights, no nothing, man. Yo, I was scared as hell, right? So we went to the store. Hey, yo, Tyler, hey, yo, real quick, hear this story, yo. So I'm walking with I'm walking with my cousin. Shit is long as hell. So then we finally get to the gas station, yo. We get some Bush beer. So now we got to walk all the way back with these beers, a 24 pack, and this crazy white dude told us to get in the car, tattooed up with his wife. I'm scared to death. He looked like a skinhead. We get in the he was cool as shit though. Like I thought I was about to get kidnapped. He was like, yeah, I don't really like you and people like that, but you cool, you know what I'm saying?
You would have ended up in the forensics files channel. YouTube.
I'm like, yo, take me back home. I won't do that being a grown man now, you feel me? But I was young. Man, I ain't care, man. It
Oh,
was a
how old
learning
were you?
experience. It's about 16 at the time, 16, 17 when I went down there. So you know, I was full of life, didn't care, like because I had to go down there, man, because I jumped off the porch early, you know what I'm saying? I got into a little criminality, stuff like that, you know. So my mom just wanted me to go to the South, man, just to get away from the city life. You know what I
City life
mean?
is crazy.
Yeah, man, it is, man. I've been in New York too. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it
I've
doesn't
been
have a
in New
good
York.
reputation, I know.
It's,
Right.
it's it's a lot of fuck shit, yo. Like, no.
Yeah, man. I love Mississippi though, man. The best ribs in the world I had was down south Mississippi, man.
Yeah, we do have some good
Um,
food.
yeah, man. So how it is
That's
now,
not the
man?
only good thing, huh?
I ain't been there in a long time, man. So what's going on down there now?
Well, still the poorest state, so not much
Oh
has
wow.
changed.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So do you work down there or do you work offline or are you in school?
I'm about to get a job. I'm in school right now, so
Oh, cool, 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 man. So how your grades looking like in school, man?
A's and B's. So
Oh shit,
doing all right.
that's dope. That's dope, man.
Yeah.
That's real dope, man. That's real dope, man. So
Thank
I'm definitely glad you came over here, man, and you being respectable to the panel, man. You're willing to learn and be willing to learn about your culture, and you said you Christian, man. So that's cool. You know, I got baptized though. Like, see me, I'm more spiritual. I like the spiritual side of things. I'm not like really like Christian, but I just had to get baptized though, man, for my own purpose reasons. You know what I'm saying? I was going through a lot of stuff at the moment, man.
Yo, I'm gonna pause on the convo. So I go ahead and do some shit, and I said I was gonna go on another panel.
I'm
Sorry.
gonna leave as well
Yeah,
because I'm gonna join another panel. But
whose panel?
Bronsberg,
Whose panel is it, bro?
no, it's Tricky's panel.
Oh, Tricky. Shout out to Tricky.
But
Yeah,
I want to come back to this because you know
Right.
Eric Melendez, he has like this his own opinion on blackness. So
Yes,
like
yes.
but like I wanted to go in on him because
Right.
I really wanted that opportunity because I wanted to pick his brain and see what his mindset is and see
Right.
what he's all about so we can get like that, engaging discussion.
He's supposed to be in the Nation of Islam, ironically, though.
Word?
Oh my God.
Oh,
Yeah, the
okay.
Nation of Islam all day, and then
That's gonna be fire.
I like randomly he would come into my chat. I don't know where he is now, but he just would randomly come into my
Y'all
chat.
being
I'm
And say,
surprised he's
y'all
not
being,
here already.
y'all being noticed.
I don't know where the hell he's been. So I mean,
Y'all
I don't
being
know.
noticed, bro. That's dope, yo. I'm about to share this live to my playlist and add it through the search engine. Now I know how
Yeah,
to do
and what I'll
everything.
do,
Now
you have a
I
channel,
got
right,
my
James?
YouTube studio going on, so I'm about to share y'all, man.
Wait, so you have a YouTube channel, right, James?
Yes, sir.
All right. So what I usually do after every show and I edit, I put every person that was on the stream. I usually put them down like featuring this, that, and the third. So your name will be on there. So
Okay, cool.
that's to also promote. If anyone needs to find you, they can find you from this panel. You know what I mean?
I'm down for the
Thank
clout.
you very much, man. I definitely appreciate
Free
y'all,
clout,
man.
free
Thank
clout,
you,
free
man.
promotion.
I got 19. Well, I'm up to 20
Catch
subs on
that.
this chat on this
Touchdown,
channel
fleet.
right here, but I got another channel, but I don't got that password no more, man. I'm trying to get that channel back, man. I would love to get that. My
What you do
first
for the
channel.
channel? What happened? How come you
Like
didn't?
I don't know. See, I know the email. I just don't know my password to that channel.
Yeah.
I should have made it like an easy password and wrote it down or saved it through the Google where it says key at or whatever to save it. Then I'd be able to go through my Chrome and if he can find it. But yeah, I don't got that channel no more, man. So that's why I'm on this one.
Oh, that's straight. But I mean, if I was to go ahead and search your name, like I would be able to find you.
Yeah, yeah. The one with my avatar right here.
All right,
Sub to
facts.
that channel.
I got you.
Just type in
So,
my name. It'll pop up. It'll be the second one from down. The
all right,
second one.
facts. I'll check your joint out.
I
Blue Lion, I haven't heard from you. ZTP, you know what the vibes is. If I can find that dude, Eric
I
is
just
supposed
want
to
to
be.
pick his brain. Like I really want to see what his brain is like.
This is the ironic thing. I think he's supposed to be on that girl Elite's channel.
Yeah, Miss Elite. Yeah, because she posted a premiere that she was gonna do next week. So I'm gonna see that. I'm not. I think it's a live. Yo, it's a live feed. So I'm gonna watch that and I'm gonna see what. Listen, I gotta get a little bit of something out of this.
No, I'm trying. I want to watch. I'm dead ass serious. I want to watch it, man. I'm serious because I already go to Miss Elite's channel, just you know what I'm saying, just to vibe, whatever. But I want to watch that because this is interesting.
just for like just seeing it, just so I can know exactly what kind of brain he has.
I don't know.
Once I can see it. Well, it's like a discovery. It's like going to a scientific experiment and
I think he called
just watching it.
Yeah, he called Miss Alita Coon before. So I'm just sitting here like,
oh my goodness,
talking about now for you to want to have an interview with her. But then again, she likes to probe people. So I'm being very, very.
Yeah, she's like she reminds me of me. She's like a troll that likes to troll, but not innocent people, like people who just do some fuck shit. Like that's like that's how she's like a female version of me. So, but I want to see like that into.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check that out. Next week, I forgot what the hell I'm supposed to be talking about next week. I'll probably try to explore. I'll do a solo on soul food, and then I'm trying to figure out what my next. I got mad fucking topics, but I have an unlimited amount. ZTP. Now that you know that you're here, you know what I mean. It's unlimited. Yeah, I'll try to figure that out. But thank you, brothers, for coming up. It was a really dope conversation, good build. I really appreciate you guys being here. James Keels, thank you for coming. ZTB, Blue Lion, you guys were dope.
I'm not sure if Arthur's sleeping or not.
Man, no doubt.
Yeah,
man.
Appreciate you guys being here, man.
Anytime, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? I be on panels, man. I be happy to go in, man. This is the first time that I actually like have a relaxing. Nobody ain't calling me out of my name, man. I don't gotta go all the way in. Like, that takes a lot to go in, and I gotta be covered from that. But it is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm just glad that I had a relaxing, a very informative conversation, man. For real.
Yeah, appreciate you a lot. This guy Tyler B. Just my last words on that. Like I said, dude, I don't do the troll shit. If you was genuine, then cool. But your name did say Tyler the Troll. So I mean, listen, for a warning, bro. I snipe motherfuckers real quick. I don't get it twisted over here. I mean, I know I'm gonna have
take
trolls.
That troll out of your name, man. Take that.
Yeah, dude, you came with the name Tyler the Troll, and I'm like, bro, I don't listen. Yeah. I haven't had fuck shit like that on my panel, but like I'm quick to snipe dudes out.
Trolls know trolls, just like hustlers know hustlers, killers know killers, man.
Look,
trolls know trolls, man.
You can say, look, listen, I be understanding stuff, but look,
I know.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Like, what the fuck? Like, what you mean, bedtime 20? Why the hell you on here? You know what I mean? And just sitting Jesus is God in my private chat, man. What are you doing?
Word.
So look, that's why I said, I'm watching. I'm not. Look, listen. My motherfucking hand will be on that remove button so quick. I don't play. I don't play that shit. So understand that. But thank you, brothers, for coming up tonight. I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna play some music before I get out of here. Thank you guys for coming. I appreciate y'all.
No problem.
Man. You're welcome, man. No problem.
All right, brothers. Have a good one. All right.
You too. Take care.
You heard?
Take care.
All right. You too, man. Peace.
Peace.
You know the vibes, ladies and gentlemen, before I get out of here. And yes, New. Yes, New. I was trying to watch if he was going to do some fuck shit, of course. I know it was some trolling stuff for real. I'm not dumb. But, thank you guys for coming to the Brownstone Powwow. what defines blackness, who defines what blackness is. Very informative conversation tonight. Really appreciate it. I don't even have a lot to talk about, but yeah, stay tuned for next week. Next Friday, I believe I'm going to be doing a music play out where I'll just play music and you guys can chat with me in the chat. Otherwise than that, I don't really have a lot to talk about. Just get out of here. We're gonna go straight to the music. And thank you guys for coming. Peace.
No Picasso, me and my nigga Grant up at the Rothko, surrounded by apostles, artists, and people fall from your definition of normal, cause they live with definition. Searching for more to grow and better their position. I was soul searching for the sole purpose, that we ain't perfect, but our whole purpose is to keep breathing, finding new meaning, new seasons, and I'm still serving my people with what they need. Made a forest from a seed, my mama was in the kitchen, I was sitting at the table, 10 years old. At that age, I knew I would be able to make the truth from a fable. Knew the difference between the two due to the shit that I've been doing, just trying to remain stable. And they say it's clear that I'm my father's son. My DNA made the dreams and the means to make him become what's real. They say my niggas say what's real. Let them know what it's like in the field. Give them the feel if they was unfamiliar. Honesty even make them haters feel you. Maybe not in public, but them niggas love it. My subject ain't never changed, and I promise to stay the same. Every stitch that's within the frame, every second of every day. It's young Anti, if you ain't know. It ain't a place that I can't go. The power behind my say so. My art of manifestation, it ain't a canvas big enough for me to paint the answers to the questions that life been given while testing. No double checking selections just to deal with the consequences or regret your decisions you make. Pretty much summing up the day to day. And go hard because your last day could be the day. The last days they say we living in don't have an opinion. I just know I'ma get it and put it on for all my niggas. It ain't no limits, the sky's just a reminder that you can get higher. Keep on spinning these tires till I retire, but don't count on it, nigga. I said don't count on it, nigga. Hey yo, all I need is one mic, one blunt, one light. We live one life, just trying to live this one right. I see the sunlight, I see the sunlight. Hey yo, all I need is one mic, one blunt, one light. We live one life, just trying to live this one right. I see the sunlight, I see the sunlight.
Read, study lessons and build your inner power. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Read, study lessons and build your inner power. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Read, study lessons and build your inner power. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Read, study lessons and build your inner power. Inner power. Inner power.